features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are watching from. Here at Wild Earth, we say good day to you on a beautiful sunset safari. Well, as you can see, a very cloudy afternoon here at Djuma Private Game Reserve in the Sabi Sand, South Africa. It is quite cool today, just like at Stony Point on Penguin Beach. It's cool and windy. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Cedric Dold, and behind the camera, we've got Egard for this afternoon here on Rusty. Yes, it is a cold day, and I think hopefully we are going to see some fantastic stuff this afternoon for everybody. And as you can see, we are live, we are interactive. So if anybody's got any questions or comments, suggestions for us this afternoon, please go on our social media platform, Twitter, #WildEarth. Or just join us or go to the website, wildearth.tv, and go onto our channels page and make sure that you do register with us. And all the kids under the age of 18 years old, so just pop us an email at kidsquestions@wildearth.tv. Please let those questions and comments come through for us today, because yes, we're all going to try and have a great experience with you, a great bumble here in the Sabi Sands. And of course, we've got Kelly as well. She's on the dam cam for the afternoon. So yeah, it's just myself that's out on Rusty. As you know, Wendy is a little bit tired at the moment. I think that vehicle will be sitting a little bit back at the garage, but don't worry, we still got all Rusty, faithful Rusty, out on this afternoon's drive. So I'm just planning to see what we're going to try and do for this afternoon. I'm thinking maybe head to a couple of dams around here, maybe towards Treehouse Dam, Twin Dams. Maybe we got lucky with some spots around there, even some tawny cats, some lions. I know that Kelly said she had some male lion tracks around on Biffles who cut lines somewhere. I think they're close to Baobab Dam, so I'm going to take a look around that area as well later on. And of course, later on, we're definitely going to head around to the hyena clan. I think the den side, that side. We have been going around there a few times already. Even just to go and pop our noses in there late afternoons, early mornings, late mornings, just to double check and if anybody's there. Unfortunately, we haven't had any luck at the moment. But yeah, I just see the nice batelia that's actually coming through. A beautiful bird of prey. It's actually, sorry about we all got a rain roof, as you can see, because it is prepared for a bit of rain this afternoon. But there's a batelia, one of our beautiful birds of prey. They're mainly scavenging on dead animals or carrion. And you can see they can really glide for a long period of time. It looks like a male. If it's a male, I just want to see if it's under parts. Yeah, it's a male. While I say male, you can see the black under that wing much thicker compared to a female. She'll have a very thin black line under the wings, where a male's got very thick. A batelia, it's a very short tail, but they can soar for about 2 hours without actually even flapping their wings. Unfortunately today, because of the wind and not too much thermals happening around here, and it is quite cool, you'll find that they'll have to flap more so today. But yeah, actually interesting as well. I see on Penguin Beach, hopefully everybody enjoyed Penguin Beach today. I couldn't believe that actually oyster catchers eating worms. Well, I thought let's call it a worm catcher then, not an oyster catcher. But fantastic. Always new things. I never thought that they would actually eat worms. But yeah, always new things, new teachings around here. Anyway, I think what we're going to do, we're going to continue down here, but let's see what the weather is like around here at Djuma.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Dam Cam. I'm actually a little bit jealous that Cedric is out there. I was desperate to see where those lion tracks went or if they came back into Djuma this morning. So I'm sure Cedric will pop up there and also have a look in the area. You can hear the wind on Dam Cam this afternoon. There's definitely a breeze. You can see those clouds moving quite rapidly. I'm sure Cedric's Battalier is struggling to maintain balance up there. This is where I get to. I've actually missed being on Dam Cam. I got to quite enjoy it. You really get to know the lay of the land here, and it's very easy to notice things that have moved or might look a little bit out of place. We have currently got what appears to be oh no, there we go, I was going to say a headless heron. But it is very windy out there this afternoon, so everything is snuggled down. We've got some blacksmith lapwings having a scratch. Oh, look at the size of those feet. And this lapwing patrolling this brand new island that's been developing slowly as the water level here at the dam has dropped. Very important, this heron is doing some preening. Very important that birds keep their feathers in tip-top condition, especially in this weather, this wet weather. They need to make sure those feathers are dry and in good condition. But this blacksmith lapwing also preening here. Oh, and another scratch for the heron. Oh, look at that black crest. So you might think this is a black-headed heron because of this black crest, but black-headed herons, they're not quite as water dependent. Nancy, the diurnal birds, they just sleep. They might have a little preen before they go to bed, like we would have a shower or do our ablutions before bed, but no, they will just rest at night time. And then again, when they wake up, busy doing maintenance on those feathers. Ooh, this wind at Dam Cam. I went and flipped the microphone over at Dam Cam yesterday before Wendy died. And yeah, I seem to have done a very good job there. This microphone it's crazy. I've sat here before and you can hear things, you can hear lions roaring off the property on this Dam Cam. I've never ceased to be amazed at the quality of the sound. But it does certainly amplify this wind. Okay, so we've got our birdies here having a preen. Let's have a look and see who else might be around this afternoon. There was a group of impala. Very, very skittish. I'm not totally sure where Tavan Gumi ended up yesterday. I know he was definitely around this area. I went and had a look at the parrots yesterday, and there was I'm certainly no camops. There was a, I believe to be a female, just occasionally popping her head in and out of this hole. But I can't work out if we're actually going to be able to see this hole from this angle. It's sort of just above that bump. So that second stump in, just above the bump, I think is where the hole is. But it might be angled wrong. I'm going to keep an eye for the afternoon. I would love to be able to. Yeah, I'm not sure we're going to be able to see it from this angle. I'm feeling quite invested in these parrots. I'm going to carry on having a scan around here and we'll see who arrives. This wind really is blowing a gale. I think I do like to scan past the tree. You never know who's behind it or walking around on it. This is certainly a very windswept dam cam this afternoon. You can see these clouds are moving very, very quickly. We are due some more rain. There is more rain forecast for tomorrow as well. I do think there's probably more up there this afternoon. This sky is looking very dark.
Yeah, welcome back. I'm just sitting here now on Zoe's junction with Philemon's cut line. A lot of vultures really kind of circling very high, a little bit further west from us, but they're not situated exactly one spot. We've been sitting here, actually been moving slowly, like in a northeasterly direction. Of course, just catching those thermals. There are different kind of vultures up there. Sometimes you'll find your white-headed vultures, and of course your most common one will be your white-backed vultures. And so you get your hooded vultures, the smaller vulture species. But you can see there's lots of them actually. And just moving slowly. A lot of people think, oh, but there's a lot of vultures in one, like circling like that, and there's something that's dead. The only time I will really say and start confirming if there is something that has that the vultures have picked up on is if they start dropping down in an area, and all of a sudden, I think there's a little bit more there. I see all coming towards us this side. But look at those dark clouds. Yeah, a very dark cloud. I think the vultures are all going to go above us now. See if we can get a little bit of a better position here. So just take a look if we can. Unfortunately, we do have the rain roof on. As you can see, those dark, ominous clouds that's looming around here. I just want to see if Egod can get a little bit of a better shot of these vultures as they are coming towards us. But yeah, I'll only say if there's something, if they start dropping down and start coming through. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. I don't know. I always wear shorts. I struggle to wear any jeans. Just have a look there. I don't really wear long pants, or I'm very much a short pants person. Even during winter time, I feel as long as my top part of my body is warm, so whether it's my hands, my head, my body itself, I'm warm, and yeah, but in my legs, I'm not really bothered. But yeah, thanks, Leo. I'm very much a short pants person. But yeah, as you can see, still a lot of the vultures still circling up that side, still moving with thermals. Not much thermals around at the moment. I think that's why they're quite very much bunched up. It's one or two little spots where they can actually catch some height and then move off again. But as you know, vultures really, they can get up to about 15,000 feet. So they can get in really high areas, or very high, and they've got fantastic eyesight. And of course, they would pick up on something that's dead on the ground very easily with that eyesight, and of course then start dropping into that area. But yeah, no, they're all just moved off. Most of them actually right above us now. Just all heading now more in a easterly direction. Oh, that's fantastic, nice. All right, well, anyway, let's mosey out. Let's go see. And we can try and see if I'm just going to go up Philemon's cut line. I'm going to try and do Treehouse Dam so long. And it is a bit cool. I mean, it is quite cool. So I'm actually going to think of heading maybe towards that hyena den as well, just for the first bit. Now, maybe we're lucky. I think that's what I'm actually going to do right now, just to see if anything. But see, the thing is, I saw 2-3 days ago a lot of their tracks and smaller tracks of hyenas going south on Weaver's Nest. So I'm not too sure if they moved this den or if they're still around there, but yeah, I think we've just been unlucky at the moment. I'm going to go slowly up Philemon's cut line here. Amazon, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us on Wild Earth on our sunset safari. Yes, hyenas and cats. Definitely, I'm also looking forward. I'm also hoping to find any of those this afternoon. I'm definitely going to mission out, but those clouds are, yeah, they're getting darker and grayer and thicker by the second. And I can feel the coolness coming through. So we are definitely going to be rained upon very, very soon. So I am preparing myself. But we got the rain roof already, so one good thing. And I'm not really a person for rain. I like sun. I'm a sunny man. Even our air god is also nodding there, so his head there at the moment. And you can see actually even the impalas. Now I'm not going to disturb them too much, but you'll find that's how relaxed the animals are at the moment because of this weather, this cool weather. So you've got even that male impalas do rut. They're starting to rut at this time of the year. It all starts now. And you can see all the male impala are just all relaxing here on Philemon's cut line. And they feel a little bit more kind of safe in this open clearing altogether. Safety numbers, so you'll see each one is really looking different directions, so they're making sure that they're covering the area if in case any predators do come through. A lot of people think that predators are more successful in windy days and all that. Look, I think it's for every person different. I find because on windy days like this, there's a lot of smells, a lot of scent that's going around, and I think the animals are a little bit more alert in ways due to that. And I think, if it's lions or leopards approaching, for instance, these impala, there's a lot of wind and there's a lot of swirling wind. And I think that scent of the leopard or lion that's approaching them will reach those impalas much quicker compared to a very still day. But as I said, maybe sometimes they say wind makes a noise. Of course, the trees and the grass makes quite a noise due to the wind itself, and sometimes they say it actually muffles the lion and the leopard's approach. But anyway, that's always there's different scenarios to that and different views on that whole thing. But as you can see, these impala rams, a bachelor herd, they just really are relaxing. They're not really bothered about too much. And they definitely got all views, all different sides. You can also say ruminating as well on the cud. And that's perfect for them for the afternoon. Kathy Lee, good afternoon. Is there anything else that'll come out more due to the rain or due to this weather? I think things like maybe stilettos, snakes. They usually come out, they usually end up all the burrowing asp. They usually also come out towards the termite mounds when it starts becoming a little bit softer around the mound areas. So I think maybe one or two different snakes. I know it sounds funny because snakes are cold-blooded, but rain sometimes affects certain snakes and actually makes it more lively due to certain insects becoming a little bit more lively as well. As well, I think maybe even though you're flying ants sometimes in this time, but I see you're flying ants from the termite mounds because it's getting late summer now. Well, actually, the summer's passed. It's coming closer to winter time now. The mounds are starting to really kind of, close up. They want to keep the heat inside of the termite mounds. But other than that, other animals, not really. I think it's very much, with the rain and all that, if they don't want to feed during the rain time and all that, or hunt or whatever, well, that's, they're not going to be able to get any food, then it's going to be a problem. So I think we can imagine raining for 4 or 5 days. I'm sure leopard and lions are not going to, like, all of a sudden decide to stop eating or hunting. I'm sure they're going to still got to do something sooner or later. I'm just taking a look, right? All those vultures are heading that side. Yeah, they're going that way. Sam, I don't want to... Sorry, boys. Sleep, sleep, sleep. Oh, well. You guys got to... Sorry about that. Sleep. Sorry. Hello, good afternoon. I think you need to be... you guys are still quite... you need to be active. Here comes the rain.
The wind is definitely whipping up a storm on the water here. And Cedric's right, there might be various reptiles out. I remember I saw, I think it was a little rough-scaled lizard yesterday. Normally they duck back into their holes when we drive past, but yesterday we saw one sitting with his nose at the edge. I can hear our brown-headed... Oh, no, that's a starling. I can hear behind us. I can't quite work out if we would be able to get an angle on this little parrot's hole in the tree here. I can definitely hear starlings calling in the background. Let's have a look in these trees. Hallie, we always do feel it everywhere in the bush or across most parts of, well, all over the place. There's always the potential for a drought season. It depends when the rains come. We haven't had bad rains this year, but by the time the rains are due again, we are ready for them. That's not a very concise answer. But if the rains come at the normal time, when they should do, we haven't had bad summer rains. Like I said this morning, there's actually somewhere in the northwest, and they had something crazy like 65 mils last night, which is insane for this time of year. So as long as the rains come when they should do, then the bush is designed to bounce back very, very quickly. I can hear Franklin's alarm calling. Oh, it's very frustrating. You can hear things on down cam, but you're never quite sure where the sound's coming from. Oh, I just heard a parrot. I can hear them. I don't know if you guys can also hear this. It's a high-pitched, shrill sort of little squawk. I'm going to check this tree and make sure I'm not missing anyone in here. I wonder if that's one of them coming in. Let's watch this hole. It is quite far away, this parrot sound. Oh, I can hear... Oh, hold on. There we go. There is one of our brown-headed parrots. Good afternoon. Now, I wonder if this one calling isn't the male coming in and this is the female. Let's see. No, they've gone out to greet each other. Are they going to come back? Sounds like it. Because the male will actually bring food for the female if she has got a clutch of eggs there. Benji, yes, it was nice while it lasted. These parrots have become a common feature here on Damcam, but you can't really see where things disappear off to, which I find you can just have a scan around. It is really nice, though, to be able to get a really good feel for your surroundings here. I can still hear Franklin's alarm calling in the distance. I'm going to keep a good eye here. I don't know, since I've been here, we've had leopards, we've had wild dogs, we've had lions, we've had all sorts of things. We've had buffalo, we've had elephants. Everything has appeared here out of the blue. I'm going to keep scanning carefully here. Oh, there's some impala. I'm going to try and work out where these alarms are coming from and I'm going to send you back to Cedric, who's on the move.
I can imagine, yeah, that is a thing of the damn cam, unfortunately. Yeah, you can't go and search out that side, but I hope everybody's weekend has been good so far. Is anybody doing any wildlife adventure this weekend? Please let me know. And yeah, what are you doing? Hiking, walking through a forest? I think it's always good just to have a little bit of a weekend. So I'm just going to stop here and look at some of these impala here. And one is definitely horning the bush. And it's definitely just a typical display of just a little bit of dominance to the other males. I'm just going to see if... But yeah, of course, it's always nice on the weekend just to go out and do a nice hike. I love hiking. I love going into the forest or next to the beach or on the beach itself. And there's a lot of places I really do enjoy, especially with the wildlife. Get away from the cities and the towns, from the hustle and the bustle. But yeah, no, it's nice to see these. You can see slowly what he's... Oh, I've got a bit of fright there. A lot of these impalas, you can see sometimes they are browsers and they are grazers. I mean, you'll find that they do feed on grass and they can feed on leaves. And that's what they do really well. So if one kind of vegetation is a little bit more depleted than the other, they can actually really swap over and not worry too much. As well, that you know that these females in the breeding herds now are really going into estrus, and now, of course, these males are becoming really aggressive towards one another. Of course, these bachelor herds, they start chasing each other, but they're very jumpy and a lot of challenging between each other. And you'll find, usually, if you get a dominant one in these bachelor herds, then you'll try and dominate and spar or actually chase whichever male's got a harem around you. So there's a lot of swapping and changing, because you'll find the males that's got the harems, they are too busy, of course, not feeding, but too busy keeping the females in the harems and too busy chasing other males and younger males away from the harems. And by doing that, they forget to really feed and get themselves really in good condition. And then you'll find that these bachelor boys, they are busy feeding, they're getting stronger, and of course, body physique much better. And then, of course, they start challenging that male from the harem that's all of a sudden lost body condition, and the takeover or the changeover of males do happen quite often and quite frequently in those breeding herds. And yeah, there is a study. I mean, these impalas are pretty much the main preyed upon species by the predators due to the numbers, due to the size. And I think it's ideal for things like your leopard, taking impala down, hoisting it up into a tree. It's doable. And of course, wild dogs as well. I mean, it's perfect for wild dogs due to the numbers of them, and hyenas, even cheetahs. So yeah, well, unfortunately, impala is definitely right on top of the food chain for your predators around you. But so circle of life, but they do well. I mean, impalas do well, and as well, you know that the females, they all drop their little lambs practically all together in a matter of a week at the end of November. And as soon as they do that, there's safety in numbers. The more lambs there are, the better chance of survival. So I'm not too far from now the hyena den, so I'm just going to take a look. Sorry, mine broke up.
Yeah. If horns can get stuck when they fight.
Earth lover, good afternoon or good morning. Welcome to our sun's break. Can impalas' horns get stuck when they fight? Yes, it does happen. It has happened before. I can imagine a bit of little twists and all that. And of course, all of a sudden, just going in at the wrong angle and I have seen it before, but not often. It's not a common occurrence at all. I think more so with your kudu, with the spiraled horns. I think with the spiraled horns, if you think about a corkscrew, I think that can become more kind of entangled. But it is possible for sure. I don't think it's a real common thing. I want to take a look at this other den. Remember the first den site that Djuma used? I want to just take a look there quickly. I just want to, oops, I don't want to see if anything is on that side. I want to see, maybe they moved into this one. I'm not too sure. Just going to come and look here quickly. It's nice. Always good just to pop your nose in here around in these areas. No, that one definitely hasn't been occupied for a while. A lot of leaves and a lot of litter around the entrance of that one. Giraffe call, head into the nature across your street. You are so lucky. That is fantastic. I mean, that's one thing. If you've got a forest or if you've got a nice park or something across the road or close to your house, that is fantastic. It's nice just to go for that little nature walk. But yeah, giraffe call, I agree with you. I think always when I go and leave, when I go home, I always try and go to areas that's nice and just, tranquil. It's like always trying to bring myself towards myself, if we can say that, and it's always nice. It's therapeutical, and I believe that a silent life is sometimes, or silent walk and a silent holiday is also sometimes nice just to kind of reflect. I always love that. But yeah. Alright, I'm coming up now. Oh, there's hyena. But this one is now, they're using this first end site on Taxons, not that other one behind it. Or not, the one on the eastern side. And a little one. Wow, we got it. Hello. This looks like Corky. Hey? Little ones. Okay, so they're using this den site now. So it's the one right off Taxons. It's the same road that you go onto with the previous ones. I want to see if it is. Sorry, before I say anything. Yeah. Is it? I'll double check here. Alright, I just want to quickly let them settle down there. And I'll go. Okay. So glad to see them here. So I'll quickly take a look at the side. Of course, now we're at another den. Of course, it's looks like this one now has been occupied, and they've got the two little black cubs that just came out there as well now. I'm just waiting for it just to settle there. The ones come out, so we can just maybe reposition here now, and just wanted to settle down a bit. All right, let's just quickly just want to reposition and get a better view on the little ones. Yes, I am so happy. I'm really ecstatic about this. I'm glad she hasn't moved away with these two young little black cubs of hers. Hey, girl. Thank you. That's good, eh? Yes, there we go. And of course, these little cubs are still very small. Good that, once again, Corky's doing a typical thing and putting a whole bum into the hole. Oh, look at that little one's face. Hello. Yes, we've been missing you for so long. So good to see you lot again. Yes. And this is quite a big mound itself, as we've got a large termite mound that they was also occupied beforehand. And I see that it's nice to see that they're using this one again as well. Of course, very close. I mean, we're about maybe 50, 60 meters from the last mound that they used. Little curious cubs. Hello. Look at you. Look at your little face. Yes. You're going to become one mean hyena one day. Yes. So cute and so black like this, but of course, it looks like Corky's got the 2. I think Intima's got the 1 cub. And of course, Ribbon has also got 2 older cubs, and then Heart has also got 1 older cub. I haven't seen, I think, I want to go maybe towards that other hyena then later on, the last one that they've been using. I think Corky decided to move this one to this side because it's a little bit less, how can I say, less pressure from those other hyenas. And of course, that entrance of that hyena den, that hole, the hole of the hyena den is very much just the right size for the cubs itself.
Baby hyena, so happy to see them. Baby hyena.
Baby hyena, yes, it is so great to see baby hyenas again. Fantastic. I am really ecstatic about this. I'm so happy. Wow. I just want to double check here quickly. Yeah, I know, I'm very happy. I think, of course, that hole's just great size, perfect size for the cubs. So if anything like lions or leopard coming to this area, and for instance, and these female hyenas are not here for the cubs, at least those hyena cubs can go into that hole and nothing can really get hold of them that side. Of course, your bigger predators, so it's ideal. And you can see Corky's definitely just focused on listening out on something that side. I'm not too sure what. Excuse me. Of course, you'll just mainly find that female hyenas, they will just hang around here. Look at the little face at the back. Hello. So now these little black cubs, they from pretty much almost there, coming from the end of February. Cubs, so coming slowly but surely now. So it was about a month, about just over a month old. Of course, definitely still suckling on mom and the high protein milk.
just had a scan around and I found a little group of impala here at the back. I can see this female, she's ruminating along with the rest of her buddies. These gorgeous, I think someone said a while ago, they look like a cappuccino. She's almost the colour of marmalade there, but they're looking fine and healthy. At the moment they're filling up. And it's a bit cloudy this afternoon, but these patterns on their coats and these very different colorations help to help them to blend in. It breaks up that body outline. So if a predator is watching them, those different colours help to break up the impala shape. These ruminants will often even lay down during the day when they're ruminating like this. It's very windy, and if they do snuggle down, they will decrease their surface area and they'll be less likely to lose body heat. We often see birds, they will snuggle on branches to keep warm. So while everything here is perfectly adapted to all conditions, they do have different techniques and methods of staying warm and staying cool on the very, very hot days. I can see a movement of a couple of these impala through these bushes, but I'm always a bit nervous to stay still for too long when I'm here, because in the time I'm looking at a zoomed in impala, we could have a leopard or anything walk past. Really great news that Cedric's managed to find some hyenas there. We haven't seen for a little while now. I didn't quite catch if he had them at one of the den sites or if he just met them on the road. I did check all three of the most recently used den sites this morning. Oh, so he has found them at one of those den sites. Okay, maybe I've just been unlucky. I've been trying for a few days to work out where they are, but maybe they've been out and about. But with this cooler weather, I think there's a lot of people today in this area, and I know all the way through up into the northwest. I think in Madikwe they've had something crazy like 65 mils of rain, and it's very unusual for this time of year. I think there's going to be a lot of people in lots of different reserves snuggled down, having a duvet day today, and I'm sure that's what our hyenas are also doing. Again, body heat, especially those little ones. They do need to keep warm, and it's nice that they use these communal den sites with little ones of different ages, but they've got buddies to snuggle with on days like this. How's the sky doing out there for Cedric? Ooh. So the clouds are moving quite quickly. Oh, there's a little patch there. But that is looking quite dark up there. Fits. I really enjoy their complex social structures. They've got quite, although they're quite dynamic, they've got kind of, especially the females, is their social structure. It's quite defined, and it's quite complex. Whereas, if you've got a pride of lions, you've got maybe 4 females and 6 cubs and a dominant male or 2 dominant males. And yes, you sometimes get interlopers coming in, occasional breakaways. It's normally the males or the territorial areas within a pride. It often stays fairly stable unless an individual dies, basically. But hyena dynamics are very complex. And the other thing I find really fascinating, actually, is they've got incredibly strong jaws. But the way a lot of the predators do it, but it blows my mind that an impala can crack through a kudu femur or something without so much as by your leave, and then they pick those little ones up by their heads and carry them around. I quite enjoy that as well, but there's so many aspects of hyena behaviour, or all animal behaviour, that we are still very much attempting to understand. And every year science is recognising new aspects. I'm going to carry on scanning here. I'm concerned I'm going to miss something, so I'm going to keep scanning. Let's maybe go back to our heron and our parrots, but I'm going to send you back to Cedric with his hyenas.
Yeah, welcome back. We're still sitting with Corky and her cub. Yeah, definitely the other cub is... So other words, Intima's cubs are here as well. I only saw one of Intima's cubs popping up just now. More of that kind of whitish face, Intima's cubs. They're kind of a... Well, I found that Corky's cub has got a real blackness to it, more fluffy. And Intima's cubs is a little bit more kind of less fluffy and... got like a bit of a greyish look to their face. But yes, Kelly, that is really true. It is really fascinating. I think hyenas, the matriarchal system, and how strict they are with it is very good. And see what Corky's doing. I've been just viewing and witnessing what Corky's doing. So her cub, Corky's cub, is outside now, of course, busy suckling on her. And Tima's cub, every time Corky gets up, and Tima's cub tries to move and come out. And then what Corky does is she keeps on shoving the cub back into the hole, into the mound itself. And then, of course, typical Corky, that's exactly hence her name. She corks that entrance of that den site with the entire body, so that poor the cub of Tima's cannot come out. She definitely reminds me of a wine bottle cork. You know, when you cork the wine bottles. she really knows how to cork it. And I mean, I saw Tima and them do the same, but not like really pushing the entire bum. Almost half a body goes into the den itself. But yeah, no, Corky is definitely one of the higher ranked females around here, and I think her little cub is definitely going to get more kind of attention compared to Ntima. I know Ntima's Ribbons, one of Ribbons' cubs from, I think, 2015, 2016. And I think 2015, 2016, if I'm not mistaken. So Ntima is not really that high ranked, because I know that Ribbon is just a little bit lower ranked down on the matriarchal line. But Hart, I haven't seen Hart for a couple, and I know Hart's young female cub from October is really getting big. And last time I saw Hart with her little cub, that cub is really full of beans. And I'm hoping that maybe the other entrance or the other den might have Hart and Ribbon's cub still that side. But they are that. See, the thing is, they are at that age where they start moving a little bit more with, especially a Hart's cub. It looks it's quite already well formed, and I think that little cub is. I'm sure I saw little tracks going down Weaver's Nest going south. As I said earlier, I wonder if they didn't go further south, maybe into Little Gowrie side. But I will definitely be following up on the clan itself and making sure that we can keep you updated on the movements of these of the Djuma clan itself. But you see, Corky's still looking straight east, and sometimes she gets quite alerted and she jumps up and looks straight through.
Have you heard any updates about June?
White Mane, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. The question, did I get any updates about June? June, of course, is one of the high-ranked females in the hyena clan. You know, White Man, funny enough, it's strange. I might have seen June once before, but I haven't had any updates. I know the last update was, I think, with Ngwazi. I think that's one of Ndebele. I know we saw Ndebele last night coming through there when we were at Tsemba, but I haven't seen June for a while, so I don't know where June is sitting or where she's located. I don't know if she's now got new cubs. But yeah, I haven't had any updates on that. I think maybe, I think some of the viewers back at home can give a better indication if they had any updates on June itself. Yeah, she's definitely, as she wants to lie down and put her head down, she keeps on popping up and looking that side. I think that way is towards maybe Ingwe Alley, Weaver's Nest. But it is, the breeze is quite a little bit strong today, so I think there is, as I said earlier, there's a lot of smells and a lot of things going around.
Shame, Corky. So nice to see, though, that they are still at one of the den sites. I wasn't worried. I do know hyenas do move den sites fairly regularly. It was just a case of working out where she was, or where they all were. But yes, all of the animals in this weather, they will be quite twitchy and nervous in this wind. All of these birds facing in the same direction, side onto the wind, trying to keep warm. Let's just keep an eye and make sure nothing sneaks past us here.
Yeah, welcome back. As you see, Corky is outside. She did, remember I was saying earlier, she picked up on something and she quickly ran. She's so alert on something. I don't know what has bothered her. And look at her. Watch. See, she's so on alert now. She looks like she's moving away now from the den. And now she's turning around again. I don't know what's around here. But yeah, apparently I heard June was seen on Damcam 2 days ago. All right, so June is still around. Of course, she's still around. But as I said, I haven't seen much of June itself. But it's a good up. Thank you very much for the update. So she was on Damcam 2 days ago. So there it is. What's bothering you, girl? What's bothering you? Something definitely got your attention. She's still, yeah. She's just behind the bush now. She's looking back and forth. I'm not going to move, of course. It's just, I just want to first see what she's going to be up to. But it is, the sense of smell and the sense of hearing of the hyena senses are just so cute. I mean, it's It's apparently I know that a hyena's sense of smell is second from an elephant. So elephants got one of the greatest sense of smells. I mean, they can pick up on water from a long way, and a hyena is pretty much just behind an elephant. So it just shows you that those big nostrils of hyenas definitely comes into play in many ways of picking up on dead animals or a sense of something, or even that hearing, those big, real round ears of theirs. I just want to see what she's picked up on now. She's just standing behind the bushes there. I think she'll move now. I wonder if she's just going to come back to the den side again. She made a funny noise, and as soon as she made like a funny, strange noise quickly, and then as she ran down where she's standing now, of course the little cubs decided to, I think she's going to now maybe, she's sitting there now, she's going to lie down there now. She's lying down there. Of course, now I don't want to go past the entrance of the den, like right past the entrance, because of the little cubs inside. I'd rather do a wider berth around. I'll see if I can maybe get a understanding of what she's doing that side. Bob, good afternoon. Adult hyena's ears that's intact. I'm sure I have. I haven't really taken notice on hyena's ears as much as I have now, due to identification of individuals. But Bob, yeah, I'm sure. Hopefully, most hyenas' ears are intact. But a lot of them are tattered. Of course, older they get, a lot of fights, a lot of. Yeah, she comes now back. A lot of fights, and of course sometimes, especially with the female hyenas, I've seen even the little cubs playing with mom's ears sometimes, in very strong jaws, and really kind of nipping at the ears and making it real tattered. So the older they do get, but some of them, of course, I'm not saying they look after the ears, it's just been lucky enough not to have anything nibbling on the ears and ruining the beautiful shape. Watch as she sniffs at air. Fantastic. I'm just talking those big nostrils. Really picking up on a scent. It's something coming through, maybe from treehouse, but we're just going to take a look. Just going to keep quiet a little bit and try and listen out as well. She's definitely not relaxed. What's bothering you, Colin? What's bothering you? She reminds me of myself when I'm in traffic. Always looking around for the other cars, yeah. It's really much alert on other drivers. Wow. Even the little cub is appearing and putting its head up. But that cub, I looked at that one, I think that's Tima's youngster. You can see much lighter head. A lighter face. Pop back in. So what is Auntie Corky looking at?
Do you have
Earth Lover, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. My favorite, I don't know, I think I like Djuma. I love all of them, actually. It's difficult. I'm like, nah, Djuma. No, I love all of them. But why Djuma is that I found her that first where, of course, at the time when she had that little cub. And I was very happy to see her first. But it's also, she's still young. She looks like she's really got a good heart. And she was very clever having her own little den site when she had a cub. So it just seemed like it was a good move from her. And as well, in Djuma itself. So in Djuma means dark. And in Shanghai, and I remember there was a leopard called in Djuma, south of us, in Wessels, Hoffman's area. And she was just a beautiful leopard. And maybe also the name is beautiful, I think. But I think Corky to me is the funniest, with this corking the hole. I think that's, to me, is one of the funniest things. But each one's got its own character. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That is now such a beautiful shot. Mom and cub. I don't know if that is a cub. It must be, well, looks like a very young cub. Whoa. But yeah, if anybody's got their favorites, please let us know, and why. That would be very nice to know. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Corky as well, if I mean, you can correct me, I think Corky was also attacked by male lions back in the days, years ago. I think she was also attacked by male lions, and I think a lot of the people thought that she was not going to pull through, and she did pull through. But please, if I'm mistaken with Corky, or if it was somebody else, please let me know. But I think it is Corky that was attacked by male lions, and unfortunately male lions and hyenas do not like each other at all. I've seen male lions killing a hyena there before in Koro area, and it was brutal. But they pretty much call them, nocturnal enemies. I can. Mary Bones, good afternoon. Thank you very much for the comment. It's acting like your dog before the storm. Yeah, no, look, I think that's what we must remember. It's very possible, that's what I'm saying, with this wind. This wind is really, especially that high sense of smell and fantastic sense of smell. You must understand that with this wind, and it's a swirling wind. It's not a real kind of one-way wind. It's really a gusty, swirling wind that's coming through. So I think because that's what's putting her on a bit of on the edge, is that there's so many smells, and they've got such a strong sense of smell. And I think she's picked up on something that has happened around this area somewhere. And she's very much alert, or she was alert. Now all of a sudden, from alert to cradling herself in the entrance of a den and almost falling asleep. Excuse me. I mean, it's also, you can see, even like when they turn their head and facing away from it, you can actually see that muscles from the middle, from the ear part going under the eye. Very strong jaw muscles, they've got really, really strong jaws. One of the strongest bite force of most predators around here. And, of course, going through thick bone and getting to the bone marrow, even eating the bone itself, is a very strong stomach enzymes. So they are really very important to the ecosystem. I think a branch from a tree that just fell on top of the roof, on our rain roof here now. Sorry, Corky. I don't mean to, that's not our fault. That's a marula tree that just decided to lose its branch. And yeah, so that's of course very strong. So they really cleaned up, the same as the vultures. So vultures and hyenas, jackal, very important to the ecosystem. Anyway, while we still sit here with old Corky, jittery as anything, let's head back to Kelly and see what's happening around the dam.
I wonder what's happening over there with you, Cedric. We know these hyenas have a fantastic sense of smell. Maybe there was something amiss. But this wind is swirling heavily today, so she could be picking up anything from any direction. I can hear a roller here. I've actually just been doing some reading, and I'm sure someone asked me quite some time ago now if beetles made sounds. And I ummed and ahed and and I thought they probably did, because I'm sure I remember beetles squeaking if I've gone to move them out the way of something. And I've just been having a look in my amazing insect book, and it does indeed say that dung beetles, longhorn beetles and velvet ant wasps chirp rhythmically in stressful situations. So I was right. It's fascinating here, actually. It's really nice. We can keep an eye on dam cam. We can see what's coming and going. And we can also do some revision, which is so important here. There's new information being discovered all the time in nature with advances of science. It's sometimes difficult to keep up, but such a joy to be able to read new papers and discoveries that come out all the time. I'm keeping an eye on my parrot tree. It's not my parrot tree, it's the parrot tree. But I've become quite invested in this little parrot family now since the Egyptian geese left. Not sure what happened there. Those 7 little ones that I spent so much time with, and then they were gone. But I'm fairly sure they just relocated to another dam. It would have been too much of a coincidence for the whole family plus adults and babies to get taken in one go, so I'm fairly sure they just relocated. It's a good idea to have a check on these dead trees. Who have we got up here? Looks like a little... Oh no, it's a hornbill up here. How lovely. There's a rather chilly looking red-billed hornbill up here on this dead tree. Everyone is hunkered down in this wind. And it's gonna leave. Also, those little bee eaters are famous. There's some beautiful images of 6, 7, 8, 10 of those little bee eaters all snuggled up on branches. These birds are struggling to fly in this wind. Oh, I can hear the parrots. Oh, we've got a parrot. Let's have a look. I think one of these parrots has just landed at this nesting hole. Let's see if we can zoom in here and have a look. Hello, little parrot. You wouldn't... Hi. So maybe we can get a view of this hole from this angle. Little fluff of the feathers.
Okay, well, welcome back. Still sitting with old Corky, old Jitter Corky. She's still very kind of wary of smells and things that's happening around here. But she's done, of course, just corked the hole. I haven't seen the cub, I think, coming out again. I think the cub is now just gone to rest a little bit further inside the mound itself, or inside the den. But apparently, Corky was attacked by a dog man. So it was Corky by a dog man, one of the Avoca male lions. And, well, that is well done, girl. You actually really recovered well, because usually once a male lion gets hold of a hyena, they do not stop. They make sure that they kill them. So I'm glad that Corky is looking good again. She's recovered through that situation, and that's fantastic. Well, I definitely have a lot of respect for this girl. As well, Blondie, one of the talking about the Avoca males. Now, I don't have any updates on the Blondie itself. I know last he was looking a little bit thin, I think, towards, if I'm not mistaken, in Londolozi area. But as I say, that's just what I think my last update on there, on Blondie. But he hasn't come up here for quite some time. I think the last time he was up here was really at the end of March. I think it was the 25th or 26th of March. I think Tess had him on the Chitwood Dam wall at night when he was calling. And I think that's the last time we really saw him up at this side. And then from there, I think he went south, maybe to Malamala, Londolozi area. But, I mean, Mohawk was not long ago, and he was definitely looking good. So it's funny that those Avocas really split up, where Darkman has gone further south. Apparently he's around in the Sabi area, further south in the Sabi Sands. And, that is not good for a male lion coalition that's supposed to be keeping, and especially that I've got the Tilamati and got the Hunkuhuma cubs this side as well. That is not good. That really opens doors to other males that could come down from the north, and but the lion dynamics do change quite a bit. I know this area. I've been in this area for quite some time, so I've seen a lot of takeovers from new coalitions or new males and pushing out the older males, and that does happen. But at the moment, if you've got three males as a coalition, you should stick together. And unfortunately, it looks like they're not doing brotherly bond too well as they should, just to keep an area. I'm just going to sit here a little bit more, just to see what else. Those little ones pop their heads out again. But if not, then I'm going to just now start moving around towards the den site, and just to see if the other hyenas are resting at the other den site. But the way Corky has been looking that side, maybe they are that side, you never know. Anyway, well, I'm just going to sit a little bit with Corky. Let's head back to Kelly. I think she's with her beautiful parrot.
I just had a lovely visual of one of these parrots going into this nesting hole. Oh, I think it's just around the other side of the tree. I'm trying to think where I was sitting yesterday and I got a view. I know where it is, but I think it's sort of on the opposite side, and you can get a view if you come down the road. There we go. Oh, it's back. Oh, these little soggy parrots. I think in the last couple of minutes it's actually started raining. I can hear it on the microphone, and this parrot is not happy with this rain. So it's very difficult to tell the difference between male and female brown-headed parrots. There's not huge differences between the two sexes. Look at this parrot snuggled against the tree to stay dry. Oh, there's the other one. Hello. Yeah, this hole is just behind here, I think. So we'll be able to see them going in and out, but I don't think we'll actually get a view of the actual hole. But they're both here, The fact that I have a couple of times I've been to check a little head popping in and out of the hole suggests that they have probably laid eggs in here, or she has probably laid eggs in here. So we must keep an eye on this. The incubation time is around about 30 days. And I saw her in the hole probably about a week ago now. So we must log it and keep an eye and see how long it takes for this little family to possibly appear. I'm sure these young parrots, when they do start to fledge, will be clambering around on this tree. They do lots of walking, most of these parrot species. They've got specially adapted feet that allows them to cling on to food and wood. Vinny, probably not, to be honest. If there was another bird in there and a second bird tried to go in, there would be a huge disagreement, I think. I don't think, I mean, animals are very forgiving of each other, but I don't think they would be that forgiving. And everything will have its techniques. I mean, these parrots, in my opinion, they've got it right. They nest in holes in trees, so they'll be... I'm actually almost quite jealous. That'll be nice and warm and toasty in there. They'll have lined it with feathers and nice soft bits of moss and things like that. And I'm sure... I don't know why this one is stood outside in the rain, to be honest. I assume there would be space in there for two, or maybe not. Maybe there's not, actually. I've never really thought of that. I've never seen, like, personally inside a nest in a hole in a tree or something, because, you know, they're hidden. But I have seen clips of camera work where people have put cameras inside these nesting holes. And I don't think I ever remember seeing two adult birds in there. Oh, it's starting to come down quite hard now out there. I can certainly hear it on Dan cam and I can see it out the window. Ooh, Cedric. So maybe there's not space for this second parrot here. Oh, no. Okay, maybe he's gone to find somewhere else to shelter. Oh, and the other one's gone. I would so be in there if I was these parrots. Look. Ooh, yes, it is coming down now. Oh, I'm going to have to... I think this has got a windscreen wiper on it. Where's the wiper? Oh, I can't... Oh, there we go. There we go. Let's try and use the windscreen wiper. Let's try and use the windscreen wiper. You ready? You ready? Oh, let me move a bit. Oh, I'm quite excited. Let's use the windscreen wiper. It's quite exciting. Yeah, it's coming down now. The heron has departed. The rain is certainly coming down now here in Djuma. I am here on dam cam watching a very damp dam. It's actually making me chilly just looking at this. We did just have a lovely view of our parrots. I'm keeping an eye on this tree. I'm going to need to windscreen wiper again. I think this windscreen wiper is going to need another setting soon. Oh no! I think it's probably better if I face the other way. I'm sure the wind is coming from the opposite direction. So I think maybe let's face this way and try and keep a little bit drier. During this soggy dam cam, I think I'm going to give you some insect facts. So large harvested termite workers are pigmented and have eyes, which are unusual among termites, and they can work in daylight on overcast days. So I'm not sure they would be out on a rainy day like this. But one of the only types of termites that have eyes.
Well, welcome back. Yes, I'm at the other den site now, just east of where I had Corky. So yeah, we've got old Ribbon. Ribbon's at least he's at this den site at pretty much where the last ones were. So of course her cubs are definitely, the den is just in front of us, but I think because it's just starting to rain quite a bit. The rain is starting to come down in a heavier way. So it's, I think the cubs are definitely taking shelter inside of that hole, inside of the den itself. But Ribbon is now, she's really very much content with this weather. I won't say I am, but it is definitely starting to really come down in front of us. But yeah, she's definitely a full belly, as you can see. She's definitely had something that she ate something during the night or from this morning. So yeah, she's got a full belly, which is now, don't know where she got or what she got, but maybe that's further down. Oh, there's another hyena down there, little one. Here comes the little one. He's coming to run towards us. Hello, where are you coming from? Yes, you're venturing all the way from that side. Well, it looks like one of Ribbon's youngsters. Of course, she's got 2 cubs at that age. Okay. Hello. Yeah, you are. Hello, yes, we came come to say hi. But where did you just come from? Even Ribbon's like, huh? What did you do? Hello, little one. Going straight into the den. Oh, actually, kind of just kicking up a bit there. Yeah, I think we're going to find some shelter inside, which just shows you those little cubs at that age now are really venturing quite far from the den. They do still find the safety of it. And of course, Ribbon, the mom, is still here. So she is still kind of looking. But just the one, I didn't see that. She's got the 2 exact the same age, of course. I just saw the one. Maybe the other one's already inside. Oh, here comes the other one. Hey, where are they coming from? Yeah, like right out from that side. You see there? So unfortunately, yeah, here comes another one. So that's actually Hearts. Hearts is in front, and then Ribbons is at the back. So of course, Hearts has also got a young. I'm sorry, the pole is in the way. I do apologise for that. It is our rain roof. I think without that rain roof now, I think we would have been rowing back to where we were going rowing to. But yeah, the first one is Heart's one. You can see much larger compared to Ribbon's 2 cubs. And of course, I don't see a Heart around here. Sorry, just dropped some wind there. Thank you, Ribbon, for that. And that went straight into my nostrils. Lovely. Yeah. I was like, hey, Auntie Ribbon. And of course, you can see much larger compared to the other, and they're very much almost actually Ribbon's cubs are a little bit older than Hart's cub, and Hart's cub is already much bigger, much larger. I think because Hart's cub, I think it's a male, and Ribbon's 2 young cubs are that one, 2 males. Sorry, and Hart's cub is a female. So that's yeah, there you go. But that's beautiful, real. Hello, little one. Yes. We come to visit you, eh? Finally, you see us, eh? Yeah. Hello. Look at this one. Oh, God. Hello. Yes, Chase, good afternoon. It's amazing. I don't know where they came from. They went far. They came all the way from, out of nowhere. I mean, far down south. I just saw them coming through the bushes quite far. So, just shows you how adventurous these little ones are becoming. Hello, yes. We are coming to visit you. Finally. Finally, you say that. Yes, nice little ears. And it's like, I'm trying to, I just see the ears popping out there. Hello. Yeah, the rain is still coming down quite a bit, yeah. Of course, it just shows you the hyenas, and it's actually ideal, not too hot for them. They don't have to really stay in the, here comes Hart's little cub. They don't have to really stay inside. It looks like they're actually enjoying. What are you? No, don't let Ribbon see that you sniffing my shoe, yeah. No, I'm just scared she comes and takes my shoe away. Yeah, very adventurous, these little ones. It just shows you, once they get to about 5-6 months, they start becoming really adventurous, really kind of exploring more and seeing what they can do. And it's also a learning curve for them, so of course, just in case one day they need to disappear. But yeah, I think the other one's at the entrance there. Sorry, I got the other one's there. The other Ribbon's cub's coming out the den there, and Hearts is going back in. Of course, definitely Heart's cub will get a little bit more attention compared to Ribbon's, due to Heart is higher ranked than Ribbon itself. So of course, you'll even find that Heart's cub. Oh, you bumped your head, dear. You bumped your head on this. Sorry, it's this one of Ribbon's cubs here at my foot, kind of just bumped its head on the vehicle, on the side of the vehicle. They're all climbing under my vehicle. Well, really? What do you smell? Yes, that's a tyre. Yes, and that's a Land Rover. That's right. Yeah, no, I definitely have to hang on my shoes. Sorry, I'm just going to move a little bit there. As you can see, like, hold on. I'm coming to, yeah. Just going to move and you can take a look. Yeah, definitely I've got to hang on to my shoes. As long as they don't bite my shoe, I'll be very, well, then again, I've got Ribbon right next. It just shows you how relaxed they are. That's it. And, luckily they don't see us as a threat, but they are comfortable with the vehicle around, and especially that Ribbon and Heart and all of them, all the characters have been brought up with, I think they're busy eating something under my vehicle, yeah. I just heard the wires going. No. Oh, no. Unfortunately, I can't go anywhere. They're all playing underneath the vehicle now. They're using the vehicle as a toy. As long as I don't hear a flat tire, as long as I don't hear shh, then I'm happy. Let's see. They're very adventurous. You see anything on your side there? Oops, hello. No. Of course, just picking up all the smells, especially then when we're driving and all that, you got all the smells and all that, so. But yeah, that's, yes. Very inquisitive. Shake the rain. Shake the rain off. Oh, this one was climbing into the vehicle. I give you, Ribbon looks like a beached whale. Shame. Yeah, she is definitely full. Yeah, and it looks like she definitely swallowed half her body weight there. Yeah, no, it's definitely, she's very content. I think she's really happy that she got some good food in her, and I'm actually happy, also happy for her cubs. So of course, good old rich protein milk and nutritional milk that they can get from her. But yeah, no. And you'll find that the cubs will suckle up to about 18. I think they're about 18 months to 20 months. They'll actually suckle from mom and get all the nutritional milk and that from there. And especially that, and bumping their heads all over the vehicle, yeah. I don't know where are they now. I think they're just sitting under the vehicle. Hopefully they haven't gone to lie down under the vehicle, because I'm going to be sitting here for the whole night. Oh, hey, ooh, yeah. Sorry, I think they're definitely kind of trying to rip some right out there. Because I had the wires under the vehicle. Naughty. I like little kids, eh? Naughty children, these.
Could potentially be problematic, Cedric. We are down to one car. Please don't let the hyenas eat Rusty. It feels like the rain's eased off just a little bit here. Let's have another check for these parrots. I can still hear raindrops on here. It's been fairly quiet at the dam this afternoon. We did have a heron and a couple of lapwings, but they left when the rain started. We do really hope to get some good rain, though, in the next couple of days. This almost, well, will probably be the last rain we see until maybe October, maybe late September at the earliest. So while it can affect drives quite significantly, my primary concern is to get the bush through these long, dry winters we have here. We did have a little lapwing. Again, though, could be great weather for the movement of predators. I'm convinced there was hunting predators last night. I'm surprised we didn't find any kills hoisted this morning. Let's hope our hyenas do not do any damage to Rusty. He is the last vehicle standing for now. Looks like our heron's using this rain to do some to do a little bit of hunting there. I know I did ask everyone this morning, if you were watching this morning, what everyone was doing in nature over their weekend, and I got some great responses. Jade was actually going to a place that I know in Surrey in the UK, and I'm still very keen to hear what everyone is doing in nature or has done on their Saturday so far. So remember, going into nature doesn't have to be a 5-day hike, sleeping on the floor. It can be as simple as just sitting quietly. Dina Kay, that is a stunning backyard to have. Wow, I know you often get fabulous birding on golf courses. I have been known to sneak around the edge of golf courses looking for birds before. It's so nice to have these open spaces. But even if you don't have these big open areas, I know lots of places, even if you're in apartments or flats, it can just be as simple as, we're going to find a fish. It can be as simple as sitting on your balcony and just being. Leave your phone indoors and just sit and enjoy for 15 minutes or so. I find it's really good for the soul. So please let us know what you're doing this weekend, or indeed have already done. And how did it go? It's very easy to get caught up in the pace of daily lives, jobs, admin, washing, housework. I know it very well. And it's always a really good idea to just stop, not for long, and give yourself some soul food in nature. Yeah, I'm not going to become a camera operator, I don't think. Although I would love to try. I'm going to keep an eye on this heron and send you back over to Cedric with a hopefully not chewed Rusty with his hyenas.
Music eyesight, it's active. Hey, welcome back, everybody. I'm still sitting here with a ribbon and the two of the cubs and Heart's cub. Still up and down, still very, very playful back and forth here. They're definitely keeping us entertained. Really keeping us entertained. Actually, Heart's cub was busy grooming her ribbon. I think because of the rain. Of course, ribbon is all wet, and I think Heart's cub was just getting a little bit of moisture off her ribbon's coat. But she has not moved. I wonder with that full belly, I wonder if she can move. But yeah, she's definitely nice and full. The rain is starting to slowly but surely start up again. So it is, we do have quite heavy spells that's coming through, heavy rain that comes through now and again. They're still looking very ominous at the moment, but yeah, we'll definitely try and sit as long as possible around here and get you guys some awesome sightings for this afternoon. But I'm still waiting for anybody who's throwing a comment on who's your favorite hyena in the Djuma clan and why. I would like to hear from you folks at home or wherever you're watching. Yeah, little ears. Your ears are so big. Oh, good afternoon or good morning, wherever you are. Thank you for joining us on Wild Earth. Yes, I think definitely Ribbon is enjoying the babysitting for the afternoon. It looks like... I think she's having a lot of fun with these. So these cubs are having a lot of fun with Ribbon herself. I think she's just really relaxing. Yeah, it actually looks like Ribbon's got a big smile. The way she's facing us, she's like that is a face of content. That is a face of relaxation, of a weekend, and I think she's loving life at the moment. Especially now and again that the cubs do go and groom her a bit. Not groom her, but just, of course, lick her with all the moisture off her coat. I think she doesn't want to open her eyes. I think she's definitely having a Saturday spa day. I was thinking, well, it is. Rusty's only. Earth Lover, good afternoon. I think you say ribbon is mischievous. Yeah, it's definitely, sorry, just the comms broke up a bit, I think, because of the bit of the rain that came through onto the earpieces, yeah. But, yeah, I think she definitely, ribbon is. It's like good afternoon. Okay, so ribbon for tenacity and Swazi. For the mischievous. Yes, definitely. I think Swazi, I haven't had spent too much time with Swazi itself. I saw Swazi a few times. But for ribbon, tenacity, definitely, I think it is two beautiful hyenas. Well, actually, they're all beautiful, but it's nice just to know sometimes you've got a bit of a history with one of them, or you've seen something. I had a great sighting with one of the hyenas, and it just kind of changes your whole kind of point of view for that individual. That's what I think as well. I mean, when I was talking about Corky and being attacked by the dark mane Voca male lion, and for what she's doing now, and got her little cub, she's just definitely got a close spot to my heart. But all of them do. I think the whole Djuma clan has definitely made my time in this area very, very worthwhile as well, because it's so nice just to really witness these little ones growing up now, and also just witnessing the females and also the males in the area, just to see how they all react with each other and how the whole clan and how the society works. Yeah, it is definitely amazing. I see that the rain is going once again. It's subsided again, so that's nice. But I am definitely all soaked. But yeah, Rusty is our really much agree with Kelly. We have to definitely look after Rusty. It is our last little vehicle that's going to be around. Kimberly, yes, Corky is your favorite. She's a warrior and she is a survivor. Fully agree with you, Kimberly. Absolutely, fully. After I heard about that story, and I thought it was Corky, but I wasn't 100%. But yeah, now I'm pretty much sure about it. Yeah, definitely. I think Corky is definitely a survivor and a warrior. I mean, to get through that, I mean, it takes a lot. With a big male lion of 200 kilograms, that's biting down and kind of really wants to kill you, and you kind of come out there as a hyena that's now got cubs or cub. It is fantastic. Maybe I should have brought Wendy the vehicle here, trying to roll it here, and then maybe these little cubs would have gone under the vehicle, and you never know, maybe they were doing a little bit of, what can I say, some maintenance at the bottom of Rusty now, but maybe they would have got Wendy going, you never know. Maybe they would have just bit on the right wire to kickstart Wendy. You can imagine if that happened. That'll be a Djuma panel beater at the hyena den. Of course, now nibbling on a bit of a bone there. It looks like a spinal, a vertebra. That is kind of chewing on there. Many times you'll find around these hyena dens, you'll find little bone fragments and vertebrae and a little bit of maybe a hoof or something like that lying around. And why is that? Just many times they will bring, sometimes the kills back to the den site for the cubs itself. You'll find sometimes even the males, just to kind of get a little bit of respect or some sort of respect from the females, from the matriarch and from the ranked females in the clan. You'll find sometimes the males will actually bring pretty much like a present back for the clan itself and for the cubs, and just to get a little bit of respect from the females. was nice to see Ndebele yesterday, last night. Hey, Yorkie Mom, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Yes, beautiful cubs, and it's never a dull moment with me. Yeah, no, I always love, and it always in the Sabi Sands, there is never a dull moment. I think there's always some action somewhere. You just got to look out and look for it. So I just spend some time with them. I mean, especially like now when it's nice and cool, and we've got some activity and a little bit of action with these young cubs. It's nice to spend a bit of time and just watching them play, and each one's got their own little character. And you know, everybody at home or wherever you're watching, you actually can start noticing the characters of each individual. And start thinking, well, okay, well, this one is like this, and look at that one. He's trying to pull that branch off. Oh, tug of war. That is fantastic. Excuse me. Yo. Where's your mom? Where's Hot? Where's Hot? Yes. Well, don't come to me now. You go to your Auntie Ribbon. There you go. Groom Auntie Ribbon a bit there. And just sometimes, many times you'll find it. There you go. Just once again, just licking off all the moisture off Auntie Ribbon. Have a little bit of a drink, and of course Auntie Ribbon is loving it. It's like, yes, oh, you're not going to go suckle there. That's not your mom. But we have seen real strange behaviour recently with, of course, different cubs suckling from different mothers, and I mean, they don't do allo suckling, so they don't allow each other's cubs to suckle from one another. So, but it has been happening recently that we have witnessed, which is something they don't see every day. But sometimes I think maybe if the ranking of the female might be quite high ranked, or the cub of that female might be very high ranked, and if the mother's not there, maybe they will actually suckle from a lower ranked female, and the lower ranked female won't mind because that cub is quite high ranked in the matriarchal line. So there's always those possibilities. No, they're all definitely playing around there. I think they just got hold of a poor little branch or something a piece of wood. It looks like hyenas on a kill. Or just strengthening their jaws. Oh, that's the arts cub. Very dominant. And grabbed a little ribbons cub there on the neck there. Yeah, I see the rain is coming back again. Yep, the rain is on its way again. Horn of a buffalo. Or, yeah. Buffalo's horn.
right?
Standing by.
Sorry, well, I just want to confirm, which dam did you say those three Madonas crossed? Three models of truck?
Baobab Dam, that's that one that used to be known as Sydney's Dam.
Copy that. Thank you very much.
Piccoli.
Ooh. Our soggy heron is still hunting here in this rain, and look how this heron has decided to stand on this log rather than on the island to get a better wraparound view here. I'm still looking. Great eyesight of any little fish that are moving in the shallows there. I did, a few minutes ago, I actually saw something, it looked like a really big catfish. It looked like something big was just moving under the surface. It wasn't a terrapin. And I did zoom in and have a look. I'm sure there are catfish in here, but it would have been too big for this heron. I just want to have a little bit of a scan around. I suffer from terrible FOMO. Fear of missing out when I'm here on Damcam. If you look at something for too long, I've got visions of all the time I wasn't paying attention that there was a party of leopards and lions and aardvarks all wandering past. It's a bit different when it's out there. You can scan almost 360, well, not 360, but you can have a really good idea of what's happening around you, good peripheral vision, and you do get used to picking up movement or signs of things that wouldn't be there. It's always very rewarding when you spot something out the corner of your eye. I was very excited when I found Tavangumi. I just saw some spots just crossing through a little gap in some bushes. You can hear the wind on this microphone here. Watch, I'll scan around here now and there will have been a leopard or something laying under one of these bushes. You can see how this vegetation is definitely dying back now. Visibility is improving. I think I said the other day I had a white-tailed mongoose on quarantine. Not on the road, it just sort of crossed and ducked into the grass, but it was after drive, but there is no way I would have been able to see a white-tailed mongoose here a few weeks ago. I'm so happy Cedric's managed to locate some of our hyenas. Like I said, I wasn't worried, it was just... See, now that heron's calling. The second I move away from that heron, it talks. I'm so glad Cedric's found some of our hyena clan, though. It's really good news and always nice to keep up with their story. I've been looking for a while now. See, the second I moved off that heron, it took off. It would have been a beautiful shot of a heron taking off with a full wingspan, but I looked away. Oh, this rain's getting heavier. It wouldn't surprise me if Cedric and Eckhart do need to come back. This camera equipment is very sensitive to the rain. I'm a bit scared to turn this way because there's even less cover. Yeah, this is getting quite heavy now. Hold on. Oh, wait. I can do the windscreen wiper. Oh. I probably get more excitement out of that than I should. I can't quite see if there's any parrots up there. Yeah, I'm fairly sure that Rusty is going to need to head back. But how fantastic that we managed to get an update on our Djuma clan. I'm jealous. I would have loved to see what's going on with that little family. And so nice that you were all sending in your thoughts. Florida Mum, water points and where there's water is indeed the best. It's so nice to get out. Wow, I'm assuming you are in Florida, Florida Mum. I would love to come to those wetlands there. I'm sure that is just absolutely full of life. Those wetland areas. I've never been, but you must. Oh, the bird species must be crazy there. How nice to be able to visit those different places. Windscreen wiper. What is the phrase? Simple minds please easily, I think. Arlene, good choice. Absolutely fabulous. I'm so glad that we can bring you some nature into your homes, to your phones, to your computers, even if it is a little bit on the soggy side. I'm so glad you can join us, Arlene. I think I did just hear Cedric come back. And it's really nice hearing that everyone is getting into nature. And that's what it's about for me. It's also about sharing those experiences, and that's one of the things I really do enjoy about being able to share these experiences with everyone. When throughout my career, if I've standard safaris where you have people on the vehicle with you, it's really nice to be able to share, if it's one person, if it's 10 people, however many it is. And I've often said to guests, if I had my way, I would have probably 5 days out of every 7 with guests on my vehicle with me, because for me it's about sharing and imparting knowledge and sharing experiences. Oh, is that a heron gone up there? Sharing experiences with everyone, and then I would probably have one day where I went out completely on my own and just enjoyed the peace, and then maybe another day with a group of guides and we could all learn from each other. So even this heron's taken cover now. So for me, it really is honestly about being able to share things with other people. It is phenomenal, if I'm in the bush on my own, on the odd occasion, if I'm working at a lodge and I will take a vehicle and go and sit at a dam for the day, take some drinks and take some snacks. If, a leopard turns up or something amazing happens, it's spectacular, but it's more fun if there's someone there to share it with. And this is why I'm enjoying this so much, is being able to share it with so many people out there. This heron stuck its head in its feathers now. Oh, hello. Are you back? I'm trying to think if I've ever seen a heron sort of squat down to cover its legs in this sort of weather to try and keep warm. So there's a risk. There is a risk for this heron if it does. It's not right under its wing. I think it's just... Oh no, maybe it is. There's a risk if this heron does duck its head under its wing. I mean, it would have to be a very big snake to take this heron. But covering eyes does put it at risk of predation. And you will see lots of birds in this weather will snuggle down and tuck their heads under their wings, sometimes stand on one leg to help with heat loss. And yes, I'm also feeling sorry for this, but they're designed for it. We must try not to put human things on these animals, and it's incredibly difficult not to. They're designed for it, but I do wonder sometimes, is this bird thinking, oh, this is wet, I'm not enjoying this, or is it just standing there, not considering it in the same way as we would? I suppose these animals will feel chilly the same as we will. But I suppose we will never know exactly what is going on in the minds of these soggy birds or these animals. Oh, we've got another bird. Everyone's hiding under this tree now. This looks like a lilac-breasted roller. Hello, soggy roller. This is what it would be like if I sat in Owen or Craig or Eckhart's seat for the day. Maybe we should try it. Let's try a windscreen wiper. No. Okay. Let's see if we can't. Let's see if we can. Let's do a windscreen wiper and see if we can have a look at this roller. Ah, there we go. There's our roller. That's a little bit better. It's amazing how when... No. Colours in these birds definitely pops more when there's that beautiful sun. I can hear actual birds outside the door now as well. Everyone is taking cover from this rain. Let's have another quick scan around. So everything is starting to retreat from this rain. I'm going to keep an eye on this parrot V in this tree. Impala, I'm sure, are sheltering somewhere back there in the tree line. Michael, yes, I agree. Rain is good. Like I said, while sometimes it can affect game drives and some of the game viewing, it's absolutely crucial, and I can imagine it would be there in Montana as well. It wasn't until I moved here 10 years ago that I realised just, how important rain is in nature. Obviously, I knew everything needs water to survive, but when you witness it firsthand with these changing seasons and the huge impact that... Oh, windscreen wiper. The huge impact that droughts can have on an area. And then even more so is the way a landscape can change within days. It fascinates me when we're coming into the winter or starting to come out of the winter and everything's been dry and bare for weeks, for months, and then you get rain. And the way I always... Oh, what's that? Oh, there's a lapwing. Hello. And I would go off on leave for 2 weeks, and by the time I got back... By the time I got back, the grass had grown. Even sometimes some of the roads were difficult to recognise because the grass would grow that quickly that the grass would cover logs and rocks and other markers that we would use. It's amazing how quickly nature bounces back from the dry season. So this lapwing might be moving around looking for any little invertebrates that might have been brought out by this rain. I wonder when we last checked in on those lapwing chicks at Treehouse Dam. I think we did lose one. I think we were down to 2. That's actually I'm quite proud. Oh, no. I'm going to need to practice more. Let's see if I can keep up with this bird. Look, standing on one leg. Hunting. Ian, yes, a heron can bend its legs, very much so. They sometimes walk with a very stiff-legged gait and very high knee action. They will lift their... I'm sort of doing it with my arm now, how silly. Ian, they will lift their knee up high, and so they don't drag their feet through the water. So they lift those legs up high and bend those knees. Oops. Okay, I've lost a lapwing. Okay, there we go. So these are monogamous, these lapwings. I'm just wondering. I did see 2 here earlier. Let's have a look and see if we can't spot the other one. So, this afternoon, everyone has raced back for cover. While JP, Cedric will not melt, unfortunately, the camera equipment will. So, everyone has headed back. We are going to be losing Damcam. We are going into load shedding at 5 o'clock Central African time, which is in about 8 minutes or thereabouts. So, what we're going to do this afternoon, we are going to share some highlights of past drives with you. And we very much hope to see you again, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, tomorrow morning.
We've repositioned, and it actually works in our favor anyway, signal-wise, and we get much better views of the elephants. And I've mentioned this quite a few times, and it didn't come from me, it came from Rexon, but he said they're not destroyers, they are creators, and I really just love that. It's all about changing your perspective. And Rexon does a lot of the work here now that Djuma's changed its structure a little. Rexon does a lot of the work at protecting the marulas and putting the sort of wire mesh around all the trees. And although you don't want to prevent elephants from getting their food, there's also a sort of mechanism and algorithm behind it, if you like, where he knows the land better than anyone. I mean, Rexon was brought up here. This is his home. And he understands the movements of the elephants, why they're ring barking, what trees they do ring bark, and how to selectively choose specific trees to protect that'll still protect not only those trees but the integrity of the land around it. And that's a lot of his work now. He does that. And it just deters the elephant. It doesn't harm them. It doesn't hurt them. Their food is plentiful. We're not in a drought. We're in the most lush, giving season with water everywhere. So they don't need the bark. They don't need to do that. And that's why we do protect them in the area. But they're not destroyers. They're creators. They create new things in so many ways. They're the architects, engineers, changing the land, not to destroy it, but to create something new. And it's such a beautiful, beautiful way of looking at it. Megan Edwards, you're seeing such pretty visuals. That's all down to OD, not me. He's the one with the skill behind the camera. I guess the elephants are helping. I mention this all the time, but Owen just reminded me that a lot of guides will about identifying the matriarch. And I think some guides are a bit too quick. So that's the matriarch. But really, there's a lot more to it than just being the oldest female or therefore the largest. That's not always the case. And in that beautiful book that I always recommend, Beyond Words by Carl Safina, it's broken into elephants, orcas, and wolves. And it's wonderful. It's quite heavy at points, but it's wonderful. And it really does go into great detail about elephant societies, how they communicate, how they structure themselves. And it's all about social units. Basically, the matriarch isn't always just the biggest female. And you've got to be really careful at presuming who it is. Sometimes it is obvious. But really, when it comes to science, you've obviously got to be very conclusive. And in identifying the matriarch, you should always wait, you should always observe. How you really are going to identify is not because she's the biggest female, no, is by social interactions. You need to just watch and see who they all gravitate around. Who are they reacting to? Who are they responding to? Who's the one that's sort of keeping her eye on the rest of the herd? She might not always be the big female at the front. She might just be that slightly smaller yet older female right at the back observing everybody. So sometimes it is obvious, but I think some people are just a bit too quick to see as a matriarch. You've really got to watch who they're responding to, who they are gravitating around. After all, the matriarch is key to everybody's survival. She is the one that is going to lead the herd from success to success. She's responsible for the reproductive success of the whole herd. Yes, it's the oldest elephant, so therefore should be the biggest, but it's just not always the case, and you should be careful when you're trying to identify the matriarch. Involved in the herd than any other, but it might not be immediately obvious. Calves will always be with their mothers, and the matriarch herself will have calves, but she will be involved in the herd and the decisions that are made more than any other individual. Sometimes in kinship groups, or if there's been a loss, a death of a matriarch, a new one will arise. It's not always the right one, and it's not always the oldest one, and it's not always the correct one. And what I mean by that is the book Beyond Words goes into great detail about how each individual elephant has its own personality. We can see that. And not all females are just destined to be the matriarch. It's just not always, that's just not who they're destined to be. Just like we all have our own destiny. Some of them have not got what it takes to be a matriarch. And that's why sometimes the wrong female will arise, take that position. She's a bit too young maybe, with not enough knowledge, or she just wasn't meant to be a matriarch. And at the end of the day, she won't lead the herd to success, and it can be so detrimental, even fatal to some elephants. I think that's that herd moving off now, I'm afraid. We can try and see if we can catch up with others around the corner. I've gone off into the drainage line. Okay, OD, let's do a bit of a U-turn here. Are we good? Yeah. The cameraman acts as your mirrors, your side mirrors, because you can't see anything behind you. I'm just going to drive slowly in case there are any more elephants. And if I can't find any more, then we're going to continue our search for signs of Tlalamba.
And it's just that sort of late morning, the sun has come out from the clouds, and it just sort of feels like it brings a bit of calmness to a disruptive morning, and that's amazing. That's just what we want. As I mentioned a number of times in the past, there's just something about watching herbivores graze, whether it's elephants or a herd of buffalo slowly grazing around you, or even impala and water buckets. There's a calming sort of effect just watching them, and that's exactly what we're going to do for a few moments. Yeah, no, we're heading into March, and April, May, all depending on the area, is when the rutting season starts, and that's well, impala males rutting season, and that's another annual event that I certainly look forward to. I mean, to see these males battle each other, and I mean, some of these fights gets quite intense, and I've personally witnessed mortalities due to fighting between males. I mean, if you look at those horn tips, they are razor sharp. So many spectacles to look forward to every year, whether it's the bird migrations, you know, arriving the migrants, you know, the rutting season of the impalas, the birth season, which I was fortunate enough to witness on my previous shift. We, you know, as naturalists, we have these annual sort of events. It's like a nature calendar in a way. What are you guys doing? You see, it's almost like a precursor to the rut. In the next month, you will start seeing you'll see that just slowly and cumulatively, you'll see more and more aggression between males as their testosterone levels rises. Good morning, Des. And Des says their coats look so shiny and healthy. Yes, no, absolutely. I mean, we sort of moving towards the later stages of the rainy season, so the grazing is optimum, and their condition will improve now in the run up to the rut. So it will peak sort of towards the end of April, and that's vital, considering that soon after that, when they start with the rutting season, they tend to feed a lot less. There's a lot of emphasis on fighting each other, and then once that's done, is to herd and keep your harem that you've managed to win. Let's just watch this quickly.
Welcome back. We're still with these breeding heart of elephant. Slowly moving to the east. So we're going to observe what they're going to do and which area they like to move in the area. We're going to follow them and let's enjoy the sound of an elephant grazing in the area and browsing at the same time.
So I know I've said it before, but I'm just going to sit quietly because this elephant is now quite close to us. You just want to enjoy being next to this big boy. So cool to see his trunk. It's just sweeping around, sucking up marulas. Yeah, I say it all the time, Laura Moore, but I don't know, there's nothing quite as cool as spending time with these big grey buttes. I'm just watching that tail very closely. Because if he opens that chamber now, it's going to be bad. It's literally head height. As a pretty good distraction from looking for dark mane. Zebi, my heart doesn't skip a beat, but it gets filled with happiness. Especially this one. There's times when they come that close and their body language is very different, and you definitely pucker up a little bit and your heart rate increases. But with this guy, he's being so gentle and so relaxed the whole time that from when we drove in. He's just showed us complete calmness. So that's why I was happy to come park where we did. And then he's the one who fed towards us. So it's very, very special. I mean, Gert, Amy and myself, we've all been around lots of elephants, but I think every single time they come close like that, it's very, very special. I'm just going to reverse so that for the last little bits of watching, and we're watching his face head on. Thanks, FC. FC is just letting me know that a lot of you watching are loving spending time with this big man. I'm sort of trying to rack my head. That elephant bull that we were with one tusk that pushed that marula tree over, I think they're quite comparable in size, actually. I'd love to see both of them in like 20 or 25 years' time and see what they're looking like then. It's amazing. One of the crazy experiences that I've had is you go to a place in Zimbabwe called Mana Pools. You collect, they eat the pods from the anna trees and the winter thorn, and if you like collect the pods and you put them in a pile, the guys sit down and you have these huge big elephant bulls walking up and eating the pods while you're sitting on the ground in your campsite. I mean, there's nowhere you can go. You just sit outside the front of your tent. And you have an elephant bull come and stand a meter from your tent. It's pretty impressive. Malin FC's asking if he eats so many marulas, is he going to get the marula sweats? I don't know, they definitely get the marula bum. I can't believe he hasn't farted while we've been here. I'm quite impressed. Is that blood? Those hairs on the trunk are like almost like receptors. When that trunk is cruising around, imagine it almost works like whiskers on a leopard's face. Sometimes, I mean, they can be so powerful with their trunk, but if they're like tentatively reaching for something, and if something touches the hairs, you'll see they pull their trunk back like they've been shocked. We've got the lovely back. That's cool. The backdrop sound of a generator. Ooh, I thought when he'd have picked his head up a bit, he was going to reach up with his trunk. Okay, let me reposition again. We drove this side so we could see his face, and now he's moved around.
nothing like watching a leopard mom and 2 cubs. Truly, truly special. I don't really need to say anything. That's how precious it is. So we're just going to let you guys... Oh! That was a mini pounce. We're just going to let you guys enjoy. Just stand by. I'll pull out in 2 minutes.
Copy. Thanks a lot. It's really such a big gift. Thanks a lot.
I won't be able to stay here now. I am putting in another vehicle. So in 1 minute we will be leaving this sighting. If it is possible to head over to another feed, Ipsy.
So we are still just appreciating Ribbon and her cubs that are suckling, and poor Heart's cub is kind of just milling around in the background, waiting for Heart to come back. But Heart has finally disappeared into the thickets on the other side towards the drainage line. So while we're here, we are just going to have a listen, because the cubs are making some very cute noises every now and then, really learning to vocalize. And of course there's some lovely sounds around us with the birds calling. So let's have a listen while we watch. So Heart has just arrived back again. You could see a reaction straight away from the cubs. I don't know if she's trying to walk off some of the meat or if she's just interested in the smells. It looks like she's looking for something. So I'm wondering if she's smelling the other hyena that was here. Maybe it came past the den site. She's had a bit of a swim, it looks like. Cooling off that big belly.
We've repositioned, and it actually works in our favor anyway, signal wise, and we get much better views of the elephants. And I've mentioned this quite a few times, and it didn't come from me, it came from Rexon, but he said they're not destroyers, they are creators, and I really just love that. It's all about changing your perspective. And Rexon does a lot of the work here now that Djuma's changed the structure a little. Rexon does a lot of the work at protecting the marulas and putting the sort of wire mesh around all the trees. And although you don't want to prevent elephants from getting their food, there's also a sort of mechanism and algorithm behind it, if you like, where he knows the land better than anyone. I mean, Wrexham was brought up here. This is his home. And he understands the movements of the elephants, why they're ring barking, what trees they do ring bark, and how to selectively choose specific trees to protect that'll still protect not only those trees, but the integrity of the land around it. And that's a lot of his work now. He does that. And it just deters the elephant. It doesn't harm them. It doesn't hurt them. Their food is plentiful. We're not in a drought. We're in the most lush, giving season with water everywhere. So they don't need the bark. They don't need to do that. And that's why we do protect them in the area. But they're not destroyers. They're creators. They create new things in so many ways. They're the architects, engineers, changing the land, not to destroy it, but to create something new. And it's such a beautiful, beautiful way of looking at it. Megan Edwards, you're seeing such pretty visuals. That's all down to OD, not me. He's the one with the skill behind the camera. I guess the elephants are helping. I mention this all the time, but Owen just reminded me that a lot of guides will about identifying the matriarch. And I think some guides are a bit too quick. That's the matriarch. But really, there's a lot more to it than just being the oldest female or therefore the largest. That's not always the case. And in that beautiful book that I always recommend, Beyond Words by Carl Safina, it's broken into elephants, orcas, and wolves. And it's wonderful. It's quite heavy at points, but it's wonderful. And it really does go into great detail about elephant societies, how they communicate, how they structure themselves. And it's all about social units. Basically, the matriarch isn't always just the biggest female, and you've got to be really careful at presuming who it is. Sometimes it is obvious, but really, when it comes to science, you've obviously got to be very conclusive. And in identifying the matriarch, you should always wait, you should always observe. How you really are going to identify is not because she's the biggest female, no, is by social interactions. You need to just watch and see who they all gravitate around. Who are they reacting to? Who are they responding to? Who's the one that's sort of keeping her eye on the rest of the herd? She might not always be the big female at the front. She might just be that slightly smaller yet older female right at the back observing everybody. So sometimes it is obvious, but I think some people are just a bit too quick to see that's a matriarch. You've really got to watch who they're responding to, who they are gravitating around. After all, the matriarch is key to everybody's survival. She is the one that is going to lead the herd from success to success. She's responsible for the reproductive success of the whole herd. Yes, it's the oldest elephant, so therefore should be the biggest, but it's just not always the case, and you should be careful when you're trying to identify the matriarch. Involved in the herd than any other, but it might not be immediately obvious. Calves will always be with their mothers, and the matriarch herself will have calves, but she will be involved in the herd and the decisions that are made more than any other individual. Sometimes in kinship groups, or if there's been a loss a death of a matriarch, a new one will arise. It's not always the right one, and it's not always the oldest one, and it's not always the correct one. And what I mean by that is the book Beyond Words goes into great detail about how each individual elephant has its own personality. We can see that. And not all females are just destined to be the matriarch. It's just not always, that's just not who they're destined to be. Just like we all have our own destiny. Some of them have not got what it takes to be a matriarch. And that's why sometimes the wrong female will arise, take that position. She's a bit too young maybe, with not enough knowledge, or she just wasn't meant to be a matriarch. And at the end of the day, she won't lead the herd to success, and it can be so detrimental, even fatal to some elephants. I think that's that herd moving off now, I'm afraid. You can try and see if you can catch up with others around the corner. I've gone off into the drainage line. Okay, OD, let's do a bit of a U-turn here. Are we good? The cameraman acts as your mirrors, your side mirrors, because you can't see anything behind you.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Eco Training Pridelands. We started off our afternoon with actually doing some tracking before we went live onto show. We spent some half an hour looking for the specific lion. However, we thought that he actually moved into adjacent property. Luckily, he did come back. He most likely came back to come and look for a drink. We're just so happy to actually being able to locate on him. It's also interesting that he's actually moved in quite a warm part of the day, as we generally don't find lions moving in the heat of the day. We also will notice that he's also quite often yawning, which possibly indicates that he's going to get up. That's precisely what he's doing. Quite often when cats start yawning, they're actually fueling their muscles with oxygen so that they can actually start moving. I'm just going to reposition the vehicle and see what he's getting up to. Most likely, as he is a territorial male, he might start scent marking this, and it's precisely what he did. He walked up to the closest tree, turned his bum towards the tree and sprayed urine against it. Quite often that is also followed by scuffing. So we are in a sighting with a number of other vehicles, as it's a shared sighting, so you might hear different voices. You also might communicate with other vehicles. Just wanted to get permission that it's fine that we can go ahead. So when we do share sightings, we do it on the basis that the person that locates it first is the one that can spend the most time with it. And we'll also get a second and a third vehicle in so that we don't unnecessarily pressurize the animal. Once one of those vehicles move out, then we'll make space for the first standby, and thereafter the second standby when another vehicle has moved off. One of the things I do find particularly funny about lions is that they can swim particularly well, but for some reason they don't like getting their feet wet. You can see he's actually focused on walking into the center of that muddy area rather than walking directly through the two little ruts that's been created in the middle of the road, on the side of the road. There we go, there's busy spraying again. For them, it's very important that they do spray their territory regularly. It's not the only way that they demarcate territories. They also do so by means of interdigital glands between the feet and also by rubbing their cheeks onto objects. And this just tells other male lions that they have to stay out of their territory, otherwise they will face the consequences. In this case, it's only a single male that runs the territory over here. if there is a group of males that potentially can come over here, they're very likely to actually displace him. It's also interesting that females actually prefer males in terms of coalition males rather than a single male, as if they know that there's less chance that they're going to lose their young when there's a territorial takeover and the cubs might be killed. Just going to position the vehicle over here. Absolutely stunning light at the moment with this last little bit of light, and it's actually just lifting those beautiful colors in the lion's mane out as well. Let's just listen to him. He's busy contact calling them. That's absolutely awesome. So Mundas, good afternoon and welcome back to the show. And I just want to quickly answer your question. Can they move freely? Yes, they can move freely into the Balule, and the Balule is also open to the Kruger National Park. Quickly taking a nap and regaining some energy. Something bit him there. I think it's all those flies around his face which is hindering him.
So I've just arrived at Treehouse Dam. Doesn't look like there are any larger animals around, but there's definitely a lot of bird life. You can hear some birds in the background. And I just thought I'd spend a few minutes here just listening and watching, because it is so beautiful here. Have a look at those cloud formations. It's just so dramatic. So I just want to listen for a little bit. I'm hoping to hear sounds of maybe branches breaking, or elephants or buffaloes, anything like that. But also unusual bird calls. So let's have a listen for a minute. I can't even hear red-billed buffalo weavers, and this is where they nest. You can see the big nest there in the tree. There's no activity from the buffalo weavers. But I can hear other birds. I can see the odd one flitting around. I think the weather's actually giving everybody a bit of confusion at the moment, because it's so hot and it's going so quickly between fully overcast and very, very hot sun, with quite a strong wind this afternoon compared to this morning. I think the animals know there's a weather change happening. There might be some rain. And so they are maybe a little bit more shy this afternoon, and that's totally valid. I completely understand it. So we will see what happens as the afternoon goes on.
Had the most amazing experience. I think the internet dropped at literally the worst possible time, everyone. They're on the move. That was just a temporary holding space. She called them out, and they were she sat right next to our tire and called and called and called, and they wouldn't come. Oh, look at this one on the left. Now, guys, if you can get any views of genitalia or anything that I might miss, because you've got way better visuals than I have, please, please, please. We know that one's a boy. Suspecting one boy and one girl due to the size difference. Many of you have also said the same thing, but that's just a suspicion. No, I can't try and finish my story, but you're being cute. Bounce, 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 bounce. Please keep up with Mommy. She sat next to the tire and called them. They wouldn't come. They were so nervous to come to the car. She called and she called and she called. She wouldn't stop it. And our chuffing got deeper. Almost as if she was saying, now. And it was almost... Okay, many of you will probably disagree with me. But it was almost as if she was teaching them, just a vehicle, guys. Come, see, it's not going to hurt you. That's what it felt like. They need to learn. They're learning now. They're copying Mom. If Mom can sit next to a car and not be scared, maybe we should also sit next to a car and not be scared. I wonder where she's taken them. We're now going south on Drakensberg. I'm just going to give them a distance. If they go off-road, I'm not going to off-road after them. Megan, you're saying you love that bouncy little walk. I know, it's like boing, boing, boing. It's also getting late. I mean, the sun's got a bit to go, but if they go off-road, I won't follow. I know the area. So I think if she does take them somewhere, we might be able to figure out. Look at them copying Mom. Look at that. Mom's got her tail up. I'm going to put my tail up. I want to be like Mommy. One cub's braver than the other. One cub came right to the tire and had a sniff. One didn't come anywhere near. And that's also making me think maybe boy and girl. Bit of a size difference. But I haven't had a look at genitalia, so I... Garden Poet, you are saying something that I did not catch. I have turned my earpiece around. But hi, Garden Poet. I will wait one more time. Follow the sandy dirt road. I got you now. Yellow brick road, but not poet, and you don't even know it. But you do know it because it's in your name. Anyway, Orange, shut up. I'm intentionally just driving ridiculously slow and giving them masses of space. But if there was just Tlalamba, she's a lot more relaxed. But it really was like she was saying, did you agree with... Would you agree with me there, Owen, that she was calling the cops to the car? You would? Not to see us, just it almost felt like, come, this is not dangerous. Oh, this is a sighting I've been waiting for. Patience does pay off. You also need time in the bush. If anyone is ever thinking about going on a safari, you can't really... I mean, 2 or 3 days I'm sure would be great, but it's often not enough to see everything. I'm just going to keep my radio up. I just want to see if anyone's moving in Djuma.
Cow.
Well, it's not my radio, it's Michelle's. They're still there, aren't they? Ah, here we go. This must be so exciting. You're a cub and Mom's let you go exploring with her, and the smells and the feel of the sand against your feet and the sounds of the different insects. Ah, it must just be the best. Okay. Poor boy. You're saying the bigger one, which we would think would be a boy, is sniffing the bush in such a way that would make him a boy. I know where you're going with that. I do, I think, Boy and Girl. A few of you have messaged me also. I've chatted to some of you already, and you also think that. But again, same with hyenas until you get proof. No, you do not stay far away from Mama. Where's Tlalamba gone? No, not okay. Go get Mom. That worries me. I think that's the smaller one. They must follow Mom at this stage, really. I mean, they are so vulnerable. This is a junction I've been checking every single day. Every single day. This is, you're not going to believe it, this junction here comes from Torchwood. No, Tlalamba. You won't believe it. Exactly where Tlalamba is right now is where I first had my proper sighting of Tandy and an adult Mareebs coming into Djuma from Torchwood. Tlalamba, please do not take your cubs to Torchwood. No offense, Torchwood. Please don't, girl. Oh no, my director just said what I just thought. It's like she looked back there as if to say goodbye. She might just wander cheetah cut line. Torchwood is a wonderful property, we just can't traverse it. That's why I'm saying no. The Torchwood people will be happy. This is exactly the spot. This is the exact bush where I first saw Mareebs once he got mobile. I saw him in the den side, the Inyala den side, but he was very sort of, he's tiny and could only see about 2% of him. Oh, I hate the direction she's moving. I hate it. I remember Aubrey called me, Lauren, come to Central now. When Aubrey talks like that, you go to Central now. And Tandy had crossed because it's also Central on Torchwood. It's split by Cheetah Cut Line, but it's also called Central. And lo and behold, Tandy came in with baby Maribs. They're so tiny, it actually looks ridiculous. Linda Polly, are you guys going to visit Granny? Granny Tandy. Oh, I mean, Talamba's territory does touch into Torchwood, of course, but she might not. She might just be taking them on a walk. Or am I just trying to make myself feel better right now? I haven't had an update from Tandy since I came back. But really, no one's really driving Torchwood, to be fair. So she could be living it up there, living her best life. Okay, let's keep up. It gets very thick. Almost a Cheetah Cut Line. And once we get to Cheetah Cut Line, let's see. Okay, everyone, I'm going to see which direction Talamba is going to take. Hopefully it's not east, but I believe Tess has got eyes on her lions.
Welcome back. We're still with this breeding herd of elephant, slowly moving to the east. So we're going to observe what they're going to do and which area they like to move in the area. We're going to follow them and let's enjoy the sound of an elephant grazing in the area and browsing at the same time.
running pridens. At the moment we're watching a mixed group of animals busy grazing as well as browsing, and they include both impala, kudu as well as zebra. And it's not often that we get the opportunity to actually view kudu from the vehicle, as they tend to be quite skittish and move away from the vehicles very quickly. At the moment it does appear as if this kudu is actually feeding grass, but it's actually not. It's actually going for a small amount of shrubs, as if they're actually browsers, which means that they feed on leaf material, unlike the zebra and the impala, which feeds mostly at grass. In the case of impala, they can also fix over to leaf material in the later parts of the year when there's no sufficient grasses around, or when the grasses aren't as palatable as what they are at the moment. Occasionally I have actually seen zebra also taking leaf material, but it's maybe once or twice in a 22-year career as a guide that I've actually seen this behavior. It was only in times of drought when there was absolutely nothing else to eat that I have seen them doing so. Come back to the kudu, the one that we have in front of us. This is a female, and as you notice, you'll see that they actually have no horns compared to the males. And this is typical of woodland antelope species, where the females lack horns because horns actually do get in the way. Also in the case of kudu, baboons that are unhappy about something. I'm not sure what that's up to. You can just see how all of the animals then changed in their behavior when they suddenly noticed the baboons alarming in the distance. That's most likely more a dispute between two big males that were running down the road, rather than that of a predator that might be disturbing them. Coming back to the kudu, we'll also notice typically of woodland antelope species is that they've got incredibly big ears. And when you do operate in thick wooded areas, you must be able to actually detect your potential threat by means of hearing, as sight is quite limited in these environments. So in South Africa, we only have one species of kudu, and this is known as the greater kudu. That's also our second heaviest of antelope species when it comes to the bulls. They can gain weights of approximately 316 kilograms. Also the antelope species with the longest horns, even if it does appear that species such as Gemsbok have longer horns, although they're straight. It doesn't take in consideration the length of the cool of the horns have in kudu. Now, if I remember, the record of kudus is just over almost close to 1.8 meters now in length for a kudu horn. In general, we also find some areas where kudu becomes persecuted, that they become very secretive, and they only become active at night. Good morning, Daniel. I don't often see kudu in association with zebra and impala. It's more often we'll find actually that zebra, impala and wildebeest will feed in association. And most likely it's an open area. There is a number of shrubs that they can feed on, which they are feeding on, and at the same time they're just enjoying the safety and numbers which these other animals are providing by having more eyes, less chance that it's going to be you that's going to be more individuals in the group, less chance that you're going to be taken, and more eyes to spot a potential predator. There's got a few more kudus that are now coming out of the bush, moving towards us as well. It's all females. Within the next few months, normally from late April, May, we'll start actually noticing that the kudu bulls start developing incredibly thick necks, and they'll very soon start fighting one another for access to females. And quite often they become very complacent when they are in the rutting period from May right through to April, May to August. And it's sometimes that they're so focused on females that they don't really notice what's going on around them, and they often end up running into trouble. In one of the areas where I worked, there was a group of lions which we refer to as the mountain pride, and they often used to take kudu bulls down at that specific part of the year, as they were way more alert than the females were. One of the things that always fascinates me about kudu is how they can so effectively use the ability to freeze and just blend into the environment and disappear within seconds.
right now. Wow, look at that! Jeffrey, I got your comment just on time. Look at this. You're right, Jeffrey. You're saying don't stop. Yesterday, I made a great last-minute find, and look. Wowza. You do not often see marabou storks here. Yes, we have them, but they're not common. And here, we've got one right on top of a dead tree. Amazing. You see them a lot in the Mara, and when I was in Ethiopia, we were in a town called Hawasha, and there are so many marabou storks that they have actually got specific areas marked off for the storks, and they've also got zebra crossings. I don't want to call it a pedestrian crossing because the pedestrians are the storks. They've literally designed special crossings in the road just for the storks, and the storks walk across the crossing. They make the cars stop just like people to get to the other side. It's amazing. Anyway, wowza, this is a very cool find. One of the best photos I ever took, one of the best sightings I ever had of a marabou stork was in the Masai Mara, and it was a kill made by, I think, the Salt Licks. I'm pretty sure it was the Salt Lake Pride, and the North Clan got it naturally, and all the scavengers were present. Marabou stork, jackal, and lappet-faced vultures, and they were all having an absolute hilarious time together. The jackal was just trying to bite the marabou stork's wing to annoy it. The lappet-face was waiting until the jackal was annoying the stork, and none of them were paying attention to swoop in, and I'm sure some of you will remember it. It was on a live drive. It was hilarious. Owen loves dad jokes. I've got a dad joke for you, Owen. Do you want to hear it? Dr. Rocky Balboa, thank you. It's a very nice find. I love them. So, Owen, why do storks stand on one leg? If they didn't, they would fall over. I'm not sure how authentic Owen's laugh was there. I think he's just putting it on for me. But anyway, that was terrible. I'm embarrassed. Huh?
Tell them the flat earth one.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so...
You need to speak louder for the microphone to pick you up.
70% of the earth is covered by water, and it's not carbonated. Therefore, the earth is flat.
Oh dog. Where did you get that one from? The book of dad jokes. Viewers, don't even start. We're not going into the realm of dad jokes right now. Goodness, we've had many of drives where we literally just talk about dad jokes. Those are the quiet days. But sorry, Marabou, you're not getting the attention that you deserve right now, are you? Izzy, I think you're just being nice. I don't know whether you're talking about mine or Owen's, but I'm going to think it's mine. Owen just said that at the same time. Well, Izzy, we both say thank you. Oh, dear. Anyway, back to the beautiful bird in hand. It wasn't gifted with... I wasn't gifted with much in terms of looks. They are said to be one of the most unattractive birds, which is a shame, and I don't agree. I think they're unique looking, but that's the sort of general consensus that they are one of the ugliest birds. They look like grumpy old men, which is a shame. And naturally, they are scavengers, and you will find them lurking on the outskirts of human civilization, landfill sites, trying to scavenge for anything that they can find. But I do believe that in Arabic, I'm sure it's Arabic, marabou can translate to hermit-like. Which is fascinating. But in different languages, you can pull out different meanings using different words. But I don't think in any language across the world the marabou storks are known for their looks. Remarkable all the same though. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, my mother always used to say. Oh, this is such a great last minute find. I feel like I need to go to quarantine now and find some more. Amazing action here, amazing. Hyenas running everywhere, white-backed vultures being numerous and frantic as always, hissing. Hooded vultures staying on the outskirts. This is where they killed the buffalo. Can you believe it? We've always tended to avoid Sydney's dam because of the signal issues. This area, just as long as I keep my vehicle still, we can make it work. But otherwise, because of all the issues, we don't tend to traverse this area too much. Look at it. Haven't had action like this in ages. I love vulture sightings. This must have been when the carcass was. They're tearing, they're crunching, they're pulling. I love vultures. They get very aggressive with one another as well. The white-backed are the most common and the most numerous, especially at a kill site. Can you hear them? In comes the hooded, in comes the hooded, incoming. Oh, what a landing. The hooded waits until all the whitebacks are gone and comes in. Look at that. We're just bumbling. It's very important for me in the morning to keep moving. And sometimes what's really nice to do, now this is not an attractive road, it's an access road with a power line. Sometimes it's nice just to, because we've got height, to actually just use your binos or the camera and search the road. I've actually found a leopard this way. It's really easy to spot elephants this way. Because many animals love to also use the road. So if you just gain a bit of height, you can see the entire length of the road. Well, not entire length, but you can see far. And if something's walking on the road, you're going to pick it up. Nothing so far, I'm afraid. But you see what I mean? You can really see that the birds are really calling now, and it's so beautiful. So let's just take a moment to appreciate this landscape and the beauty of the scene in front of us. Isn't it just stunning? It's already getting very hot, which might make it a bit tricky to find mobile animals.
So we've just come across quite an interesting scene. We've got a pair of Wahlberg's eagles, and have a look at this fork-tailed drongo. It is so upset that there are raptors here, and it is giving them quite a rev at the moment. Listen to the calls it's making. So it's trying to make a lot of noise to try and chase them, but at the same time what it's doing is it keeps mobbing. So it sits for a few minutes and then it mobs them, and it's actually been smacking. Yeah, look there, it actually just smacked that one again. The pale morph is at the bottom, we can't see it so clearly, but it's been mobbing the pale one in particular. It seems to be ignoring the normal Wahlberg's eagle at the top, but the pale morph, it is really not leaving it in peace. You can see it's mobbing and mobbing and mobbing. The flight skills of a drongo, just unreal. They can change direction so quickly. And I mean, listen to all of those calls. It's got over 50 calls, but at the moment it's just trying to be as loud and irritating as possible. And the point of this mobbing is just to try and get these eagles to move. Look at that size difference. Oh, it worked. Shame. So the Wahlberg's eagle's actually gone and landed. The pale one's gone and landed. That's the Wahlberg's calling. It's gone and landed in the marula tree. And I wouldn't be surprised if its partner now follows. I think it's just getting so tired of being mobbed, looking for some cover. Carol, flying honey badgers, I agree. They are so tenacious, they are so protective, very aggressive in their behavior when they're mobbing, and it shows because they do not give up. And it works. I mean, that eagle got so frustrated that it actually moved to a tree that's got quite a lot of brush, a lot of leaves and cover, so that the drongo can't actually peck it on its head anymore. And I mean, bear in mind, that's quite a dangerous behavior for this drongo to have. You know, if it is actually touching that eagle, and a few times it actually touched it, it smacked it on the head as it was mobbing. I mean, that's quite dangerous. All that eagle has to do is be quick enough to move and grab it. But drongos are very well known for this behavior. Drongos and starlings tend to be the two leaders of the mob pack. And so it is very, very interesting to have seen that behavior and how tenacious it was. It is still in the marula tree, and it is still mobbing the pale morph and calling away. But it seems like this one is not really too bothered. I'm actually not sure why the drongo chose the pale morph instead of the normal Wahlberg's eagle that you can see here. Possibly because the pale morph is a little bit bigger. Oh, but now we've got a new bird. They're actually coming to investigate. Two starlings going to investigate why the drongo is performing the way that it is. So they've actually both gone to join the drongo in the marula tree. That poor Wahlberg's eagle is going to have a rough morning. So even when it's flying, the drongo is coming up behind it and kind of smacking it on the back while it's flying. And you can hear the Wahlberg's eagle is trying to call its partner. And its partner is not bothered. Look at this, it's time for preening. Feigning oblivion, it seems. Well, now the drongo is just getting all the other birds involved. You can hear all the different calls. Definitely trying its best to move this eagle out of the area, and it's not going to work because, yes, it'll irritate the Wahlberg's eagle and it might temporarily fly away. Oh, now we've started with this one. Oh, the drongo's given up on the other. But this is a nesting pair, so we know that they have a nest here. And I don't think they'll move very easily. And this is all just a tactic for the drongo to try and protect its chicks, its eggs. Rusty, very cool name. I think our Rusty over here would enjoy having you on board. Yes, actually the drongos have quite sharp beaks, and if they come down with enough force and they do hit the back of the head or something like that, they could actually cause a wound on the eagle. That being said, you know, the feather coverage is pretty good. Vasti, not Rusty. Oh, well, Vasti, thank you for the question. And yes, the drongo can actually hurt the eagle, but it would take quite a lot of force and a lucky shot to get a wound in somewhere on the eagle. They've got so much feather coverage, and they know that when they're being mobbed, they kind of just tuck their head in a little bit so the neck isn't exposed, and the feathers on the back are so thick that they wouldn't really be able to get through the feathers to the skin. But with a lucky shot, they would be able to if they caught it at the right moment in the right position. It's more irritating than anything, so it's not as though it hurts the Wahlberg's eagle every time the drongo mobs it. It's just irritating. You can imagine, you know, it's similar to when, for example, an insect takes a liking to you and it keeps coming to your face and landing on you and kind of flying around your head. You know, you tend to get a bit frustrated. You try and swat it away, and then you'll move. You'll move away from the insect. It's the same kind of behavior. And I'm telling you right now, if a drongo or a blacksmith lapwing did that to me, I would definitely be running out of the area. I wouldn't stick around. It doesn't work the same as when you encounter an elephant or a lion on foot and you stand your ground. I'm telling you, if a bird starts mobbing me, I'm out of there. So it's just that very irritating, loud. You can see it actually flinched there. Watch, it's flinching its head. It's actually ducking down every time the drongo comes close to it. So the drongo can actually mimic the call of the Wahlberg's eagle, which is quite impressive. It's one of the best mimics that we have out here. It can mimic so many different birds, but it can also mimic a few mammals like dwarf mongooses. It's definitely trying its best to move both of these eagles out. So you can see the eagles are not terribly bothered. It's still gone back to preening. But the drongo is not going to give up until this eagle moves. Okay, so let's see what happens. It looks like the drongo has gone to fetch reinforcements and it might be coming back with a vengeance. Let's see what happens.
This has been utterly fascinating to watch. Fascinating. So this little one, who's currently now not visible, which is a shame because it came right out, is trying. It's really trying to get in there with the other two and get some milk, but that's not going to happen. The other two are fully latched on and drinking away. And it's attracted to the smell of milk. It's learning ribbon scent. It's really fascinating what's going on here. I hope it comes back out again. Come on, come and see us. And Ribbon isn't bothered. It's just a little cub, you know. She just wants to sleep and get her beauty sleep in to be beautiful for the nighttime. But the other cub is not suckling, but it's interested and it's trying and it's nervous. got some great shots of it for the ID kit though. Nadia, I'm so happy too that I got this extra little stint with you all, and I did not expect to come back to more cubs. I'm just finding it so fascinating. All the other cubs that we have found at the den, I think I actually found them all 2 years ago, we knew who the mother was. We found them with the mother. There was never any sort of question about it, actually. And now we have this situation. When I heard last night Rowan has 3 cubs, I'm thinking, what? And there are 3 cubs. It's just But that other one is just, it's not interacting with Ribbon in any way, shape or form. And what we've been watching is Ribbon's pair running around, chasing each other, biting each other. They're siblings, they know each other, just having the time of their life. And this other one is just staying put. It doesn't know them very well. It's going to get to know them, trust me. But right now it doesn't know them very well, and it's not really willing to come out fully out of the den just yet. I'm just waiting so we can finally piece this together. We need to move the dam cam, borrow it, and just keep it here for one night. It would actually be very cool to watch them at night time. Really cool. You would learn a lot. I would never sleep though, and that would not be a good thing. Just bumbling. It's very important for me in the morning to keep moving, and so
look at that tail. She's definitely fascinated. She's intrigued by something here. Oh, now we've got more vultures. She's definitely listening to whatever's happening in the drainage line. I think with the amount of hyena activity we've had, maybe she managed to kill something in the drainage line. The hyenas managed to steal it. And now we are able to sit here and watch her as she's analyzing what's happening. Just a reminder, everybody, this beautiful girl, Tlalamba, is part of the Genesis collection. So if you want to find out more, you can head over to the Wild Earth website and look for the NFTs tab. I think she is the prettiest. Not quite as pretty as Kuchava maybe, but so beautiful. I feel like Tlalamba has a different type of beauty around her. She's such a big female, and she's the perfect combination of muscle and grace. Isn't she lovely? Oh, you can see that whitetail from here. She is looking for everything and anything this morning, and she is being distracted by all of the noises, and this is actually a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's for a leopard, it's part of the reason why they are so successful, because they pay so much attention to the smaller details, all the small movements, all the small noises, the smells. All of the predators will do it, but leopards in particular, because they're on their own, they know they can't rely on anyone else, and so from a very young age, they get used to listening to absolutely everything around them. So it's lovely to see her being so attentive and so careful about what she's listening to. She's pausing very regularly. And you can hear there's a bird alarm calling at her, so that got her tail going, and straight away, look at that change in behavior. The tail is up instead of down, because of the alarm calling. So she's saying, all right, I know you've seen me, I'm moving, I'm not staying here, I'm not hunting. And this is giving animals the opportunity to see her approaching so that she can avoid any situation where she might accidentally get injured. You definitely don't want to be mobbed by a herd of elephants or something. So if there's alarm calling and she can raise her tail, everything can see her from a distance and there's no need to accidentally surprise someone. That being said, I think if she surprised a scrub hare right now, she'd probably go for it. She does look like she's eaten a little bit. Her stomach is not flat, but it is more difficult to tell because of the way her mammary glands are hanging. Her stomach hangs a bit lower naturally now from the cubs. But she definitely could eat again, I think. That bird is still alarm calling behind us. It's one of the cisticolas. Now you can see she's dropped her tail again, so this is conveying I'm far enough away from the alarm call. Oh, Nikanova, that would be wonderful. She's going to scent mark. It would be wonderful to meet Kuchava's cub. Oh, she didn't scent mark. Wow. Throwing me under the bus there. Yes, it would be so lovely to meet Kuchava's cub before I go. I'm very happy that I've gotten to meet Columbus cubs at least. I'd love to see them again, but I think any chance you get to meet a new leopard and spend some time with it, not much compares in this world to that feeling. Because it really is an honor to be able to spend time with a leopard like this. You know, leopards are very secretive, they're very quiet in their movements, and so if they don't want to be seen like the last few days, they won't be. They absolutely will not be seen if they don't want to be. So for her to be out in the open, allowing us to follow, is just, it's an absolute gift. This makes every day worth it. So the direction she's moving in, if she heads up to the right, she will still end up back at quarantine. If she goes left, she'll end up in the drainage line that's fed by Voyatella Dam. So it'll be interesting to see where she decides to go. If she keeps going straight down on this road, she's going to end up near Ribbon's Den site at Twin Dams. Don't know if she'll go that far though. I love it when she sits and listens. That's when she's really intent. She's focused. So she's listening back up towards quarantine again. So remember where we are. She wants to make sure there's nothing coming up from the drainage line, but also no disturbing sounds coming from quarantine, because the surrounding drainage lines around quarantine is where we think the cubs are still hidden. We haven't seen tracks of the cubs anywhere other than going into the one drainage line. We haven't seen them coming out, but Rexon found Columbus tracks on her own this morning, which means she's hidden the cubs somewhere. And with all the hyenas around, I think her kill was stolen, so she needs to find some more food. And that's probably why she's out on her own. And taking the chance, even though she's in the open like this, for any leopard, taking the chance to sit and listen is a really good combination of things. It's giving her information on who's around. It's also giving her information on potential hunting sites, potential prey around the area, and potential threats. So she's doing a combination of everything. She's the ultimate multitasker right now because she's even grooming while she's listening. She's also going to be smelling while she's grooming, so she can pick up on all of these different things. Incredible senses, very, very heightened senses. Yeah, she keeps looking over towards the drainage line in particular. I think her kill must have been in there somewhere. To me, she's always had such bold geometric rosettes. compared to the other leopards. Yes, they all have rosettes, but hers just seem to be very bold in terms of they're very thick, very close together. Looks like she's been designed by a perfect architect. I'd love to know what she's thinking at the moment. She's definitely hearing something that we can't. Maybe some movement in the drainage line if the hyenas have finished the carcass and they're moving up and down. She might be hearing that movement. Can you get any more beautiful? Veronique, we are also very happy to see her, and I'm glad that it has brought you joy seeing her this morning. It is always such a treat when you've been tracking her and you know she's in the area, and you've been tracking for a few days, and then you get to see her, and it just kind of reaffirms what you know about the bush, but also it reaffirms the condition she's in, and we get to have a little bit of a bonding moment with her and see what is happening in her life. It's a nice little window into the life of a leopard. Let's see if I can move. She's actually headed towards the drainage line. Unexpected twist. I was expecting her to go more towards quarantine. But I can see why she would choose this. There's a nice termite mound and some dead trees. And so I'm going to see if I can follow her towards the drainage line, see what we can find in there with her. Miss Tlalamba is now headed straight down towards the drainage line. She's paused again to have a listen, and her tail keeps moving ever so slightly right on the tip. And I think she might be assessing whether it's safe to go into the drainage line, but at the same time whether there's any potential food down here. As you can see, she's using this long grass to her advantage and just giving it a little evaluation while she's here. So the only thing I've seen so far moving on the other side of her has been a Swainson's spurfowl. Oh, she must have a fly bothering her. I haven't seen anything else, but this is a perfect area for duiker. Morgan and Frankie, you are 11 and 7. Thank you so much for your question. Tlalamba's cubs are just about 3 months old now, we think, about 12 weeks. So they are still very young and very cute and very small. And we don't know yet who they will grow up to be, but we can already see some nice personality traits coming through. And hopefully, well, it seems like one is like mom and one is like dad, actually. One cub seems to be a bit more like Tlalamba, a bit adventurous, outgoing. The other one, maybe a little bit more like Mulwati, a little bit more shy. So it seems like a pretty good split of leopard personalities at this stage. But I hope we can find them for you sometime soon in the next few days. And I feel like we have definitely got very lucky this morning to have ended with such a gorgeous girl. I'd love to know where she's going from here. Maybe there's a duiker she can hear somewhere. Oh my goodness, how perfect is she? Look at those ears in the grass. Everyone, I am so happy that you could join us this morning. That we could share Tlalamba with you and all of the little odds and ends, the shongololos and the birds. It's been an absolutely wonderful morning, and hopefully we'll be able to find her around here again this afternoon. At least we know where to start now. And we're definitely looking forward to having you with us for our safari this afternoon. Hopefully we can end with some more spots like we did this morning. How exciting. Perfect way to end our morning with you. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, so we found a giraffe. Big male. They're quite nice just to sit here, and also you'll be able to hear the tails swishing every now and then. I think he's just going to hopefully end up feeding right next to us. Actually looks so cool with the clouds behind the giraffe. He's eating from a guarri tree, but I think mostly what he might be after are the little fruits. I mean, I was complaining about ticks, but this guy is just littered in it. And all the folds. Just gonna try to turn around, follow the giraffe for a little while. Luckily, he feels like walking on the road. Very elegant way of walking. Also quite quiet now when they walk.